Hello. Sorry, tech goblins and all. We're here, I think. Our guest is in a snowy, remote location, which we will be going to in just a moment. But welcome to our pre-Christmas, pre-holiday, pre-2021 show, the last of 2020. Well, for our show for now.
Good riddance.
Players, I think you want to talk a little bit about our sponsors and the fun stuff we're doing here.
Look, I want to talk about a lot of people. The people who keep us going. Specifically, people like Caffeinated Cobalt. Why? Because some days you just don't want to get up. And then you remember you have Caffeinated Cobalt.
And work.
And you get up happy. And then you are physically awakened through a jolt of caffeine straight to your system. Then there's Critical Treasures. They make such amazing D&D wonderfulness. RPG, all kind of gaming stuff. It's not just D&D. Like, you could use this bag for loose change. You could use this bag for your teeth after they fall out. You could use this bag for toenail clippings.
Ew.
You have a very interesting sense of what to use that bag.
Look.
You opened your Christmas present early, didn't you?
I did open my Christmas presents early. And then, of course, we've got Blacksmith Craft Dice. They roll just what you need. You should probably just put dice in that bag. It's a much better thing to put in that bag. I don't really do any of those things that I said. I had to make a list off the cuff. And
he did not check it twice.
Nope, didn't check it twice.
Tink and
That's
Zelda
not my
use
job.
theirs for
I'm not wearing that hat.
I will say, Nathan, to your credit, as I showed the blacksmith craft and then rolled it, it is a natural 20. Unfortunately, we're not in the game, but it rolls. It works.
Think of the story we just told.
Yep. So there you go.
Right.
There's a credit to blacksmith craft. Natural 20 right off the bat.
Boom. A baby.
And if you want to roll those amazing metal dice, we do have a giveaway going on. During this show, if you type !ticket, exclamation point as in the symbol, not the words. I know some of you in chat are going to type the words !ticket. But exclamation point ticket will get you in the running to win. You don't have to be here when we give the dice away, because some of you are staying up and it's way past midnight right now. Some of you are just now getting up and you're probably going to fall back asleep because it might be Sunday morning for you. That's all right. We just want you to tune in, hang out with us, type exclamation point ticket, and we'll get in contact with you over Twitch and get some dice to you, hopefully not too far into the new year. So. Not too far. So, do we have everything here? Everyone got their drinks? Everyone behind their cameras? Perfect. Dice in hand?
I got my good luck dog.
We're going to roll for initiative immediately. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Not even in the story yet.
I had a 12.
It's all right. You can save that.
I'm using that 20 I rolled.
Alrighty. So, a lot of things have gone on in the world of Nier. A tower that seemingly warped between planes. Specifically, dropping off a little T-Rex in what could have been, modern day USA, New York City, who knows. Our party got to see a bunch of different landscapes, and as they were jumping out of the door, hoping to land at least somewhat close to home, they ended up on a snowy mountaintop. The unconscious Ari being carried by Thadric, and the wonderful misnamed. Don't worry about it. Tech issues. Stream, we don't have two Thadrics. Don't worry about it. I just saw that we have two Thadrics on our stream. Rumiel.
We do!
The wonderful Rumiel
Second Thadric.
had been in the area and watched this teleporting tower appear and disappear right in front of his eyes. And as he was in the area scouting out for other things, he decided to check out what had happened. And as he did, in a distance, our party had already set up Linus, the wonderful Pillowfort tent, to crash for the night and hopefully recover, as the battle before had taken a lot of damage to each and every individual, Ari was still unconscious, so they laid her in the bed and turned in for the night. And as Rumil rounded the top of this snowy hill, and darkness had set for the evening, and the familiar sight of Linus was in the distance, here's where we begin our snowy winter's eve tale. Rumil, what do you do when you see that tent?
Well, as I'm climbing up the mountain and I see the tent in front of me, clearly they're all asleep, and they just seem to appear as I watch the tower flicker in and out and in and out, and then the party appears, and now there's Linus, and it's, well, they could probably use the rest. So it's going in and waking them, and then surprising everyone, probably not a real good idea. So B1RD and I are going to go try and get some wood. Since I don't necessarily need to sleep, I just need to meditate for 4 hours. I'm going to get a pretty good fire going. And then once I get that built, and I know that those coals are going to last and at least keep me decently warm, I'm going to go over to their tent, to Linus, and I'm going to cast Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow, which, as I start a rest, I then create a 30-foot radius invisible magic sphere. The sphere extends from the point of space that I touch, which is the tent, but doesn't expand over total cover. It doesn't matter. So should anyone happen to walk out, they will gain +5 perception and stealth checks. And my flames from the fire that I've built are also invisible to the outside. So I'm going to cast this Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow, basically shielding us from the outside world. And then I'm going to kind of sit down in a cleared space in front of the tent. Rather than try and surprise the party, which would not probably go well, I'm going to wait for them to find me.
And as you had sat down and began the camp just outside and cast this barrier, one of the pillow goblins kind of pops his little head out and looks around and falls over in the snow, and then hustles over and pats you on the arm as you're sitting there and waves at you as he recognizes Rumil. This is most likely one of the pillow goblins that had given you one of your first cookies, and you recognize the stitching on him as well. And he sits down in the snow next to you and just kind of looks out across the landscape as the night goes on. As you meditate and spend the next few hours, the snow drifts blow, and at points you feel that this dome that you've placed has protected some of this breeze and the onslaught of the snow as it has come. You can kind of see it hit the dome and ease down the sides, and the breeze is far much lessened. It's not hitting you as hard, that it's fairly comfortable next to that fire. After a few hours, the sun starts breaking over the mountaintops and between some of the clouds, but the snow and the wind continue to move about. The pillow goblin at Rumil's side shakes off the little bit of snow that accumulated on him and steps inside and begins to lightly jostle the party awake.
Huh? Oh, good morning.
The pillow goblin that shook you awake, Garth, you notice he's covered in a little bit of snow and looks like he'd sat out some of the night. You do see some little snowy footprints that have walked the way into the tent. And if you don't recall, the tent is set up inside as a very small, almost army tent of sorts. A couple small cots, very much a tight space, as the pillow goblin set up quickly to attend to the wounded and the unconscious, that they didn't have time to, in those milliseconds, to set up an elaborate display. It is exactly that as you wake up and see this goblin standing there.
Yes, good morning. See, you spent a bit of time outdoors. Come now. Press digitation, like clear the snow off of him, dry him off a little bit.
He waves at you and kind of like motions up over his shoulder towards the door and jumps and like does a little clap. A couple other pillow goblins come up and they've got a few warm croissants. One of them has a couple vials of the Java juice that rushes right up and puts them right out in front of Ari's face and starts moving them under her nose, seeing if that will bring her to a conscious state.
Eyes closed, just reach out and grab one and chug it.
The goblin pops open the top of the other one and hands it towards you a little bit in case you need another and stands there. One of the goblins is walking over and lightly patting on Thadric's shoulder, and another is very cautiously walking up and tapping both the Hellhound and our little Blink dog in the party just to wake them up. And eyes open on the hounds, and the Blink dog hops up happy while the Hellhound lets out a grumble and bumps into Thadric, who's still laying there.
It's time to sleep, man. And then Thadric just rolls over, shuts his eyes. He uses the heat from the Hellhound to like warm his butt as he's sleeping.
Can I just always reiterate this picture of a cleric with a hellhound and other companions?
Hey, the druid has a mechanical bird.
It's confusing times we live in.
It's time to burn this storyline down, I guess. Everything's backwards. Everything's backwards. Valari, do you do anything? Do you wake?
No, I'm just sitting there watching.
Just sitting up, watching all of this happen.
Because I'm like propped against like I don't know, a tree or a side.
I think Garth.
Go for it, Garth.
Oh, I was just gonna say Garth like uses Mage Hand to grab one of the croissants because he doesn't want to burn his fingers, so he's just using the magical hand to feed himself, and like is casually walking towards the front. What
I love that.
What's all this jumping? Mm-hmm.
The little pillow goblin.
And you never burn your fingers.
The pillow goblin rips open the front door and kind of leans out and tries to get our druid friend's attention by patting the snow to let Rumiel know that there's a few people awake in the tent.
So Rumiel, who has been looking out, kind of surveying, making sure that everything's okay outside, is going to hear the pat and turn around and say, Garth, you're awake. Very good. Well met.
Rumiel!
Good to see you again.
Hello! Ah!
When did he get here?
Those two!
I don't know where I am. I take the other Java.
I mean, she was like unconscious and strapped to a wall, and so that checks out. Oh.
Fine.
Oh, yes. You were sucked into a glass thing and filled with electricity. Right next to a dinosaur.
Remember that room we were in where all the things were on the wall and the things? You became one of them?
Yeah, where's
There was
TikTok?
a dinosaur?
You became, so TikTok. Thadric killed him.
You've seen... Who's Thadric? And Rumiel's gonna, like...
Okay, but here's the
on
thing.
his staff.
He was possessed by this super evil thing, and I don't think there was any way to save him. I think he was gonna explode either way. I mean...
Yes, Thadric did kill TikTok. Oh, and by the way, Thadric's a friend, Rumiel, so we can't kill him yet.
But I walk up and kick him in the shin nonetheless.
You don't...
He's sleeping. That was rude.
Wait. I don't think Rumiel sees all of this, because he's heard the name Thadric, but Thadric is still in the tent.
Yeah.
So who all is outside at this point? We have 2 points.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're hearing some of this through the doorway. The door's being held open. We've got Garth kind of in between what's happening. He's near the doorway, noticing you, engaging,
yes.
and kind of relaying the information between everyone inside and everyone elsewhere.
Ooh, we just got raided, y'all.
We did get a raid and a host. Thank you for that. Welcome.
Welcome.
But yeah, so basically, Rumil, you're hearing what's being pushed through Garth, and Garth is kind of relaying that information back into the tent. So we've got a little comedic situation going on.
And
Lovely.
one other thing, just so you guys know, Astro has a robotic leg now. What is it called? It's a metal leg? I don't know.
It's just a prosthetic.
It's a prosthetic.
Not a robot leg or nothing.
A robot leg. It shoots lasers, right?
He has a prosthetic.
Meteorite metal.
Oh yes, his leg was cut off.
Yeah.
But Valari did that one.
Y'all are a mess without me.
That makes two of us, Ari. What has happened since I left? Also,
I mean,
you picked up Thadric. Are you still with that druid fella? Or not the druid, the drow fellow?
No. He's back.
That was Draclin.
Yes.
He's still back in town, managing everything. The kingdom with kind of royalty in.
Oh yes, that does seem like a very good position for him to be in.
Yeah, no, this is some new cleric.
He's kept
us alive. So
I was going to say it's good that you found someone to heal you all when I left, because the last person didn't.
I almost died. Rumil, I was like on death's doorstep, and it's because of Thadric that I'm still here.
Well, certainly seems that I must meet this Thadric at some point. Yes, Garth.
Come in the tent.
Yes, but by all means, Fred, come out of the snow inside.
You hear the most horrendous snore honk come as Thadric rolls over.
Oh, Rumil, you missed it. Ari tried to do medicine.
As I'm coming in the door. Oh, lovely. How did that work?
I didn't kill him.
But she didn't make it better.
Well, that's... Not killing is a good start. So I'm going to walk in. Thadric, are you still in your plate, or did you doff everything and pile it in a corner?
It's piled up neatly, kind of next to where I'm sleeping.
No, you can't.
You'd notice it is pristinely polished. It's probably like the Hellhound, the plate up at the top of it, and then me next to the Hellhound.
So I'm seeing your polished armor, and as we kind of mentioned earlier, like, is there any symbol on your armor itself that I would recognize?
There are, but I know where you're going here, but it's not.
No. Okay, so I'm just gonna see you with a Hellhound and a suit of armor.
Yes, it's not. It's definitely not. There are symbols, but it's more of a maker's mark for.
Oh yes, like a signature of some kind.
But it's the same one that hangs around my neck.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's basically a hammer and anvil situation.
You all seem to certainly pick up very unique friends. I have not seen one of these, gesturing to the Hellhound. Even in all of my travels, I have not seen one. Although I am completely fascinated by said Hellhound.
Well, Thadric didn't bring the Hellhound with him. The Hellhound came from the Tabaxi, who saved our lives from a Banshee. And he had two Hellhounds, and then the tower hurled giant stones at us. And the Tabaxi threw himself in front of them to protect us, and it got himself killed, along with one of the Hellhounds. So now this remaining Hellhound is kind of our companion, so as to protect us, and vice versa.
Seems about right. And seems to match up. I saw the tower blinking. That's actually one of the things that drew me to this side of town.
Oh yes, we broke it.
That seems exactly like something you would do.
I got this though, and I pull out the power gem.
The gem you had just collected in the tower, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Well, as you pull it out, it almost hovers in your hand. Like you feel grasp like you're holding onto something, but as you look at it, it's a few centimeters away from actually touching you. There's quite a force around this thing, and it crackles with energy inside. So it seems quite powerful. You see, it's a fairly small stone, and it's fairly smooth, but inside it seems to be almost shattered with electricity.
Very interesting, Garth. I've never seen something like this before. Any idea what it does?
Neither, except for the couple of times that well, I believe it was powering the tower and all of its evil. So there's that.
Wow. Well, do take good care of that then.
As you're all talking about this stone, outside you hear a few thunderous stomps approach and run past the tent. You hear thum, 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 and then it just stops.
I was gonna say, at that, Rumiel is going to, like, you noticeably, like, see him stop, listen very quick, and then just take off outside of the tent.
Rumiel, as you pop outside the tent, about 30 or 40 feet out, you notice there's some tracks through the snow, large ones. And by the way you heard the sound, the stomping went to the town that you had been in the day prior.
No.
And towards the town, you do notice next to the road, there's a large pine tree set up with no snow on it, but it's decorated. And when I say decorated, there's glowing orbs of red and gold and blue around this tree. And at the very top, there's a star-like crystal that is glowing as well.
Okay, then upon seeing that, I'm going to run back into Linus and say, I apologize. I'm sure you are on some sort of mission with the tower. However, something that I have been tracking for a number of days seems to have run right past. It's a very dangerous thing, and I will explain, I promise. But I may need your help if he's close by.
Yes, of course. I'm relatively ready. That's the nice thing about being a wizard. I don't have to put on my armor.
If you all wish, Garth and I will continue, but time is of the essence if he is close by.
Yeah, whatever.
The Java hasn't kicked in.
Ah.
Yes, I'm sure they're large creature, you say?
I have not seen it yet, but descriptions describe it as some sort of almost yeti. Although the strange thing about it is it travels with two what appear to be some sort of humanoids, maybe gnomes. They seem to be almost servants to this thing. I've never heard of anything like this before. Like I said, I promise I will explain, but if he is right here, we need to move.
Yes. No, by all means. Everyone, grab your things. Rumiel, we can go ahead. I'm sure they could just follow if it's such a large creature and there is snow. I'm sure they'll be able to follow us in the snow, if anything.
Perfect. And then he will leave. Like, walk outside of the tent and start, like, looking at the tracks, waiting for, like, anyone who's going to filter out, and then before taking off.
Yeah, as you step out, you do notice that these tracks, they're a three-toed track, something more reptilian than you'd expect. But as you look at the shape of it, it almost seems like the feet may have been made out of some woven material, not so much a skin or a scale. So it's a reptile shape, but it's a interwoven structure that built it up. Scott Denuzzo, thank you for the bits. And just so you guys know, we do have some fun stuff going on. Tips and bits allow you to be the hype boss. And when you're the hype boss, tips and bits. Yep. When you become the hype boss, you get to assign a nat 20 to somebody to use. So thank you for that. Also, continue to enter into the giveaway. But yeah, you do notice that it is a reptilian shape and interwoven makeup.
This is very, very odd and not quite what I expected. Granted, I don't know what I was expecting. Ah, Garth. Hello.
Yes. I believe you said Yeti, but I don't know many woven Yetis. Do I? Can I roll a history?
Yeah, go for it.
Can I roll on that as well, just to see if that's anything that I've picked up in what I've heard?
Yeah, go for it.
17 on woven Yetis.
Woven Yetis. You have seen the dreaded Yetis and the braided Yetis, but you don't know of any woven Yetis. Each of those seems to be a certain clan of Yeti in mountains back in Faerun, but you're not quite sure if they have similar varieties of Yeti clans here in Nier.
Well, I don't think Rumil got a 6 on anything he's heard, so I doubt he's going to recollect anything.
In the back of your mind, Rumil, you get a flash of a Yeti-shaped pillow goblin, and you have to quickly shake that because that's not what you think you're going for here.
Of course not. Well, Garth, if you were all that's coming out to this point, let's follow this trail at least as far as we can. Oh, Ari! Good, we have a little bit more muscle with the group. That could come in handy. Are you sure you're all right? You look like you've taken a bit of a beating.
I was knocked unconscious and electrocuted, and somebody killed my buddy.
But you didn't have to.
She had a rough day.
Indeed. Well, I'll tell you what. If we find this thing, I will let you take every bit of that out on whatever it is we're tracking. It's said to have decimated a few towns. There's some destruction left in its wake. Again, apologies for being so vague, but I'll explain when we have a moment. So then I'm going to try and follow the tracks and see what happens.
I'm sure the other...
So, as you follow the tracks and the rest of the party catches up...
I was like, is everyone else coming?
Yeah, at this
for this one.
I mean, unless Thadric wants to snuggle up to his hellhound for a few more hours.
Naturally, Thadric will wake up in like 3-4 hours. But unless he's roused, that's not a thing that's happening.
Valari, are you still in the tent?
I guess I'm like...
That is true. You were kicked in the shin.
I mean... Was I?
And you...
Is the hellhound awake?
Hellhound's awake, kind of pacing about, having some playful growls with Astro.
Okay, dogs wake Thadric.
Well, that's not going to go well.
Well, I'm not doing it.
I'm so ready for this.
Eventually, the noise and stuff would get him up. Probably just in time to see everyone kind of walking out the front door. And he'll have to pause and be like, "Oh."
Yeah, we should probably go. They're hunting a Yeti.
Start putting on armor and get his shiz together.
As Valari exits the tent with the two dogs, there's a little pillow goblin standing there, legs crossed, stamping his foot in the snow. And he just motions up at Valari and motions into the tent. He's just like almost yelling at her, and then just points into the tent and looks up like, "Excuse me, are you going to remove the occupants?" And just stares at Valari.
Was I weird that Thadric was putting his armor on?
Yeah, probably. As you were moving out and he was getting around, you probably heard him rustling up his armor and starting to put it on.
All right, calm down, you fluff ball. He's coming.
He stamps his foot in the snow a little bit longer.
It takes like 10 minutes to put on full plate.
I was gonna say that's a 10-minute job.
As he's doing that, the Pillow Goblin looks at Valari and kind of points down at the corner of the tent, where it's staked into the ground, and points at Valari and points at the corner of the tent as well.
Okay, I'll take it, but I gotta wait for him to come out.
He kicks you in the shin with his little fluffy foot and sits down and waits there, almost as if he was expecting you to just pull the tent with Thadric inside.
Oh my gosh, these goblins have
What's
been
this
around.
guy got to do? Nothing.
You know what it is? I think I set up. Did I set up the tent this time? I think
you did.
I think that's influencing it.
So they're taking a little bit of your snarkiness. But meanwhile, Rumil and Garth and Ari are making their way following these tracks. And as they do, the tracks stop right at this large decorated tree. The tree itself almost seems to be like glistening and glowing. It's perfectly symmetrical and beautifully decorated. And as you are able to peek around the sides of the tree, there's a couple sets of small footprints that seem to have walked around the tree a few times and then headed back towards town. And in the distance, about 200 to 300 feet out, you can see a few small buildings that Rumiel recognizes as the town he had been in.
But at least it doesn't look like the large beast of whatever it was. I thought it would. I heard that it was something like a yeti, but these footprints certainly don't seem to match that. But at least they don't seem to lead towards town. As long as he's, as long as it's staying away from town, then at least we have that on our side.
Could I roll some sort of like religion or history check on this tree? Would it be a nature check? Like, why is this?
I want to check out the tree.
Decked out?
Yeah, go ahead and choose which one you want to roll on, and tell me what your roll is.
I think
we go on history.
I'm gonna go nature, but I don't think it's gonna go well.
All right.
Is there anything else that? Nope. Nope, it didn't go well.
The druid with a nature check. What was your nature check, druid? I got to hear this one first.
7.
Are you sure you're playing a druid?
He focuses more on animal handling than in nature.
Okay. Did you want to roll anything but nature then?
I mean, the
intimidation.
His specialties were animal handling and medicine.
Okay.
I got beyond survival. I don't. But this is not a survival.
No, yeah.
So your nature check kind of fails. You reach out and you're like, oh, a pine tree.
It's a tree.
And and as you kind of put your hand on the tree, you're like, it doesn't feel quite like you expected, but you also didn't expect a tree to be decorated this far from town. And then what was our check for you, Garth? Was it history at what?
25.
25. So historically, you have heard many traditions in the winter months to decorate trees, usually within town or within a common space, not just randomly throughout a forest, even if it is a few hundred feet from town. So it seems kind of normal, but out of place at this point.
That's odd. This should be in town. Do I know of like a holiday established with it, or? Because look, I know Nathan knows a Christmas tree, but does Garth know a Christmas tree?
Garth knows that there are winter festivals, and many groups celebrate winter festivals. Some of them celebrate based on being a dark season, lighting candles to brighten up the home. They've used it to decorate their homes. In one of your wizarding groups that you had seen, they bring in all sorts of plants and put colorful globes on them to keep them alive over the winter. And so it's it's a tradition that people usually use that for parties and whatnot because the home is brightly lit. But otherwise, there isn't one thing that you equate this to. But as your friend in the clouds shouts down Festivus, you do recall that you had heard that in this this world of Nier as well, being something they celebrate.
All right. Yes. This. I checked watch. Didn't realize. Well, adventuring really gets away from you. Didn't realize what time of year it was. I guess.
Did you just check your watch for the time of year?
I'm with Ari on this one.
Well, your watches don't track dates.
It was
What's a watch?
No.
it was a gift from Steve, apparently.
I mean, haven't you seen the Santa with the watch that
The
counts
note
magic?
tinkerer. You all haven't realized that there are 24 hours in a day? It's just rudimentary math and well, then add a little bit of magic and some tinkering and you've got yourself a device that tells you at what point in the day it is.
Smashing something, tell me?
We
Magic
literally
something
played with a
from-
magical clock last session.
You did actually.
It's true.
Yep. Yep.
I wasn't
He
there.
wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
wasn't there.
Well, in this magical clock setup here,
Thank you for pointing that out, Hoy.
it does it does come time to have the rest of the group show up, and Cardboard Ari apparently. Wow.
Better watch out.
Well, okay.
Gut.
I wanted to say, as we're walking to catch up with them, you know, they're probably good 15 minutes ahead or whatever. I would probably catch Thadric up on, like, generally who Rumiel is, and, like, oh, by the way, that little goblin that you exploded, Ari's gonna be pretty pissed, so, and Rumiel probably will be too. So, maybe just don't mention it, or, like, avoid eye contact, or, I don't know, but...
I mean, that ceased being their friend, like, long ago.
I understand. I mean, he was always a pain in the ass anyways.
No.
So it's fine.
Doesn't know.
But I'm just warning you.
I mean, wait.
Awkward.
Is Barth with us?
What?
Didn't we rescue Barth?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Is he with us?
As you look around,
I mean,
What?
he took off and then I...
none of you had seen Barth, but when the tent was pulled up and Valari is discussing with Thadric, and she lifts the corner of the tent to roll it back up, they hear, "Ah!" Oof! And ejected out of the tent is Barth, and he sits there and he's looking around and kind of opens his eyes very widely. What the heck? Why is it cold? What's going on? Valari? Was that you? Valari?
He's there, right? Like, I'm here.
Yeah, he got ejected as you just lifted the
Yeah.
tent.
Hey,
Thinking it was
Barth.
just you and Thadric.
Hey, Barth.
Long story short of it, I think I heard you talking about TikTok. He's not TikTok anymore.
Right.
Oh.
So you knew that?
Yeah, we were on a mission, and we were trying to, save somebody who was going into the tower, and TikTok, he got possessed by some old creepy dude, and then he tried killing me, and he put me in a wall chamber, and I was zapped, and then I woke up here.
So you're probably going to be the best one to calm everyone else down. Because you know how Rumiel, Ari, and Garth all felt about TikTok?
No,
And they didn't,
no,
so I'm
no,
just saying.
No, this is too much for a young kid like me. Remember, I'm like only 7! Okay, fine.
You got this.
Where'd they go?
What? Okay, let's go.
Where? Okay.
This way.
And Valari starts walking towards where the rest of the group had headed. And by the time all of you catch up together, the first few, Rumiel, Garth, and Ari, are still standing around the tree discussing what this could be, where it should be. Garth is exclaiming it should be in town. And the group gets back together.
Hi guys!
And Barth runs up and waves to the group.
So...
Well, you didn't kill the little kid. Hey,
What?
Barth.
I didn't do it! What happened?
TikTok died?
Yeah,
Or
he
should I say
died?
it was?
Wait, TikTok's dead? Oh no.
Yeah.
He drops to his knees.
All I knew is he was possessed by some creepy dude. And then he zapped me and he put me in the wall. Okay.
Yeah. It was a tough battle. He fought against us, and we did everything that we could.
Clearly.
Up to a certain point. I mean, it was an armband.
And again, that dude stopped being TikTok long ago. Your friend exists out in the fugue plane right now.
Barth even
which gives you a
told
chance
me
to
all
get it
about
back.
Thursday, Cedric. I don't want to hear it.
He tried
Next
to kill
time I'll meet your
Barth.
ass in the tower then. Cool.
I'll say this is the
And
first
I just draw my sword and kind of shuffle off in the other direction.
Oh,
Not far, but just like
okay, then I'll
a
follow.
ways.
I'll follow.
So, he's dead, but I had a dream while he had me on the wall. Some dude with library books, said that my friend is not gone. He's elsewhere. I don't know. He said something about swords and stuff, but I can't. I don't know. That's all I remember. It was a weird dream. I don't know how to read.
You're 7 and you don't know how to read.
He's an
I
urchin.
grew up on the streets. I read a few things like
I have
Wanted.
a 6-year-old who doesn't know how to read.
Like Wanted. I
You
also.
should be in school. Why are you? We gotta get this kid home.
Yeah,
He never
exactly.
had a home.
I don't see a Yeti.
What's with this tree?
Oh, Barth.
As
Don't ask.
What is with this tree? He's got a good question.
As the tree's being pointed out, the dogs approach very cautiously. The fur on the blink dog bristles, and the hellhound starts to glow with embers, and they're growling at this tree. Scott Denuzzo, thank you for all the bits. You are now the hype boss, so please let us know who the Nat 20 goes to, because as the dogs approach the tree actually starts to rustle and jingle and stand in a certain manner.
What?
That as it stands up, it takes an odd shape. The roots come up in one part, and a mouth forms, and then feet kind of show up where the roots are as well. And
You said feet, right?
feet, yes, feet.
Okay.
And at
I heard a beak, and it
a
was
beak.
very.
No. And at the end where the bright glowy star is, it becomes somewhat of a tail. And because I love using some homebrew stuff, I'm going to stream what I'm talking about, and then I'll show you guys in just a second here. So,
Thank you.
To the best that I can show you, this is a tree Rex.
Can you show me?
As you look up, you notice a giant T-Rex
That's cute.
that is made out of tree and wood.
So a tree Rex.
A tree Rex.
A tree Rex.
A Christmas tree Rex.
Point out, I've seen a T-Rex now.
It stands tall and lets out a roar. And as it roars, glitter comes out of its mouth. And what you think is a shredded... A shredded present also comes out too. As it roars, the dogs rear back a little bit, and it goes to bite at you all. I need everyone to roll for initiative.
I will say, as
Also,
we're starting this, I think Thadric and I had moved a little bit away.
Yes.
So we are slightly off of the party at this point.
Also, Ari,
that scream from
you
Nathan
have
and
the nat
Lauren
20.
was someone who had definitely experienced glitter loose in the house.
Yes. Yes, it was. So we have everyone except for Rumiel and Thadric pretty close to the tree.
Ari, I don't know if you saw or heard that you were gifted the nat 20.
Ari with a nat 20. Also, as we're getting prepped for battle here with this tree Rex,
Tree Rex.
if you haven't already, type exclamation ticket, and you can get into the drawing for the dice. Any of our players and accounts that we own won't be able to win. So if you see something that is in chat from any of our players, that's just them trying to help.
It's an
Let me
example.
know.
It's an example.
And if we roll for one of them to win, I'm gonna just delete it and probably kill their character. But we'll see.
Wow.
Got dark.
It got really dark. All right. Let's go with initiatives. Ari, you're alphabetically first.
25.
25. That job is kicking in. Oh. Garth.
I got a nat 20 and I'm at a 23.
23. Rumiel.
Natural 20 for a 23.
Man, all these nat 20s. Thadric.
I thought I was doing good. I'm at a 16.
Okay, I was waiting for a 2 or something to show up in there.
No, that's
Valari?
you.
That was me. I rolled the 2.
All right.
So I have a 4.
A 4.
And Astro got an 8 total.
And I will roll the Hellhound as well.
Oh my gosh. Holy blacksmith craft dice.
Why are you wasting them on initiative?
Dude, I
Right?
know. That's the second one it's given me tonight after the one that I rolled right after we did the ad.
At the top of the turn order, we have
Oh,
no,
roll it
not
off,
Valari.
Nathan?
No, never Valari at the top of the turn.
A roll off? I believe it goes off of
There's a bullet
dexterity.
point. Are you
That's
going
what I
by
thought.
dex?
It goes by dexterity usually.
It's the same.
If your dex is the same, then it's a roll off.
Do you have an 8? Okay.
You could do anything.
I don't have a lot of good weapons against a tree.
Well,
Okay. So Garth first. Perfect. Ari, you're top of the turn order. This tree Rex stands up and roars at you, spraying glitter everywhere. What do you do?
And I draw my sword and
Sword.
I charge and will slash him 2 times.
All right. Let's do this.
Yeah. You know, but before I roll this, I can just tell that the first one's gonna be a nat 20.
Ouch. Okay.
She's not
Okay.
saving it at
I'll
all.
roll the
She's
second
just...
one, and then we can do damage together.
Perfect. I want to say
Second. Yeah.
that we had some leftovers from last stream. I think somebody has.
Yeah.
she does have 2.
Yeah. I have one still left.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess that my second hit doesn't hit because it was a 12.
Does that hit? No, it does not.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not go for that.
8 points from the nat 20 damage.
Oh, right.
18, you said?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Nice.
So you slash at this tree Rex, and you end up knocking off one of the ornamental decorations and a bit of the tree that makes up its front torso. Garth, it is your turn.
Yeah. As soon as the doggos start up their commotion, a total little fire bolt into my hand, and so I'm gonna chuck that at it.
Alrighty.
And you have said that a 12 will not hit, right?
Correct.
So that's gonna be a miss.
All right. Being caught off guard and seeing the nice sparkly view of that glitter in your face, you just missed aim a little bit because broadside of the barn, this thing's big. Rumil, your turn.
I was going to follow Thadric, but then this weird, like, I'm assuming there's bark crackles and weird dog barks behind me, so I'm gonna spin around and see this tree. How far away am I?
You're probably about 30 or so feet out. I don't think Thadric or yourself had just run
30 feet. Yeah, it was. I'm assuming that was a casual walk. Okay, and then I'm going to. Yeah, if it's 30 feet, that's perfect. I'm going to bonus action cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff, and then after engaging the magic, I'll whip the staff towards the tree, and a little flame that has now started to crackle at the top of the staff will launch itself towards the tree.
All right.
The tree Rex, as
the
it were.
Tree Rex.
Tree Rex.
Ooh, it's not a good day, boys. After the nat 20, we got a 10.
That again misses.
At least it's not a 1.
As you get to
Come on, blacksmith.
As you get to see what this creature is, it catches you off guard, and you kind of stumble as you try to fire that shot off.
Because the druid just tried to burn down a tree.
Yes.
Tree Rex.
Now the Hellhound is next, and the Hellhound just puffs up big, and smoke starts coming out of its ears and out of its mouth a bit, and it decides to just blow fire right at the feet of this tree Rex. Because, you know, the Hellhound understands what burns. The Hellhound is the first to hit. No, Ari, second to hit. Ari hit first. So the Hellhound breaks this streak and sets a bunch of the branches on fire. And you see a whole side of this thing catch flame. It did pretty good for you. Let's just say that. The tree Rex is a bit upset at what is going on and decides to bite out at Ari, who was right in front of him, starting the attack. And as it bites out, it bites for a 16, which I believe is under your armor class. So it too misses. And it twists to try to hit the Hellhound with its tail. And that too is a really low number. We're just having a slap fight tonight.
Not even.
You have to hit in order to have a slap fight, right? All right. Thadric, it is now your turn as there's a lot of whiffs going on. You're back by Rumil and you see all of this from a bit of a distance, about 30 or so feet out.
Yeah, I'll move up 10 feet towards it.
Okay.
As he's moving, you see his right hand just kind of disappear under his cloak, and with a flourish, it flies out again. Except this time, it has a dagger flying from it.
Okay.
Headed towards the tree Rex, as it were. Oh, that's an 18 on the die. Plus 6 does a 24 hit.
Come on.
That does hit.
And just to clarify, it is within 5 feet of an ally.
Correct.
So my sneak attack does apply.
Correct.
For a total of 8 damage.
8 damage. All right. At this point, you hear a crackle of the tree Rex. I can't really say it's bloodied because it's a tree, but it does look like it's smoldering as that dagger sinks into the chest of this T-Rex or tree Rex. Astro lets out a bark and jumps at one of the branches that makes up the small forearm of this tree Rex, and actually does latch on as he jumps and grabs the forearm. You see him dangling and trying to rip this branch free from this tree Rex. Valari, it is your turn.
Well, I was gonna cast Chromatic Orb with lightning because, you know, easy way to set it on fire. But I rolled in.
Wait. I was gonna cast Chromatic Orb with lightning to set it on fire.
Yeah.
Is fire an option?
Fire?
Well,
Fire.
I mean, lightning would strike it and then start a fire.
You don't want to do fire.
I'm just saying, have you seen lightning strike a tree? Well, it doesn't. Well, okay, let me finish talking because here's the thing: it doesn't even happen because it's a 5 on the dice, which puts me at like a 12. So it's not even gonna hit. So that's why I said I was going to, but I literally just did nothing.
As you shoot this crackling orb at the tree Rex and it moves past it, you see some of the lights and globes kind of sparkle a bit brighter as you provide energy for them. And as it gets past the tail, you almost hear a little twinkling from the star on the tail tip. So you provided some beautiful entertainment there. Ari.
Right? That's what I do.
That's
what I'm here for.
That's what you're doing.
You have to hit it. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna swing. Swing, bada 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 bada.
Come on.
That would be a 17.
That hits.
Does a 17 hit? Okay. Okay, so that first strike is going to be 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage as you slash out at it.
And then the next one is going to be a 18 to hit.
Does hit.
7 points of damage.
Perfect. And you knock free a few more little branches and ornaments on this thing, and it's starting to look like a terrible, terrible Christmas tree a few weeks after Christmas time. Garth, it is your turn.
I will hit it with a soft 20.
A soft 20, that hits.
What are you hitting it with?
Lasers.
A firebolt.
Okay.
He's like, I was just gonna roll and then decide.
5 damage.
5 damage of fire. Mm-hmm.
Fire damage.
Yep. Fire damage. Perfect. So it does a bit of damage. Fiber damage. As you hit it with firebolt, it does catch more of the tree on fire, and this thing's smoldering and flaming as you're attacking. Rumio, it's back to you after your wonderful whiff.
Yes. After slinging one flame at it, he's gonna follow that up with a second.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, I'll move in closer. I was about 30 feet away. I'll go to about 10 feet away, so I'll move 20 feet closer.
All right.
And then I'll sling a second one at it.
Perfect.
Maybe.
I believe in you.
15?
He's so...
Does not hit. It grazes some of the branches as if you were so sure that if you were just one
very
point
thrown
closer.
off by this tree Rex. It was a tree, and he knew it was a tree, and now it's a dinosaur.
He's like, oh, come on, that totally hit.
Like,
the Hellhound tries to bite at the tree and misses as well. And then the tree Rex bites out at Ari for a total of 22.
That hits.
And swings its tail at the Hellhound and gets a hit there. On the bite, Ari, you get 12 points of piercing damage as it latches into your shoulder. And we go to Thadric's turn.
I once again reach into my cloak and whip out, this time with my left hand, another dagger, fly towards the tree Rex.
What is your handedness? Should we, because you called out left hand, do we need to get you on disadvantage?
I'll roll disadvantage. I don't need it.
No, you got this.
I don't need to roll it because I'm cool like that. Does an 18 hit?
18 does hit.
Nice. Max damage on a thrown dagger plus sneak attack for a total of 10.
10. This one, as you land it in the cheekbone of the tree Rex, you see a visible crack start going back up the wood into the rest of the tree, and you can tell that this thing is getting pretty close to falling apart, dying. Inanimate object, yes.
Good, I only have 4 daggers left.
Perfect.
You need 4? How many do you carry?
Enough.
I think it's 6.
Usually, yeah.
I want to do the math. I figured I'd just ask.
You see Astro dangling from the front arm of this thing, and he kind of lets out a bounce and snaps one of the tree branches that makes one of the little tree Rex front arms, and does a decent amount of damage on it as well. Valara, your turn.
I'm just gonna go with what I know, and I'm gonna cast Chromatic Orb.
Okay.
Level 2 with lightning, because why not? And that's not gonna do anything, so I just burned another spell slot.
Again?
Yeah.
Again, you light up a bunch of the ornaments that are remaining, and you...
I just like the pretty colors.
You set a few people's hair on end as the static kind of goes behind them. Back to the top of the turn order. We have Ari.
Yep.
One of the few effective people.
That will be a soft 20.
Nice.
Hits.
There you go.
And
Finish it.
9 points of damage. And then that would be a 9.
That one doesn't hit. But as you hit with your first swing, you hear a nice large crack as you lay into the face of this tree Rex. Almost the sound of splitting wood, but it didn't have the finishing pop that you were expecting. That you were so close to finishing it off. Garth, can you do it?
TBD. 15?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
I cannot.
Whatever you ended up casting or throwing or lobbing at this tree Rex misses.
Yeah,
misses.
I'm doing firebolt.
Firebolt.
Hi.
Okay,
It's
okay.
Fire.
It's fire. It's free.
Firebolt.
It's free fire. It grazes a bit of the bark on the face of this creature, but misses. Rumiel.
Who was it? Somebody in chat. Lucas Martinez pointed out that Rumiel is now crying due to hitting a bird's nest on his last hit. So through his tears, he will now. With one more play, and it's just gonna. They're so watery. It's so sad. It's a 14 and he misses.
Rumiel is shaken here as he's trying not to hurt nature, but nature is trying to hurt him.
He kind of like falls to a knee. He's gonna take a knee. Like in swinging this, he's gonna like swing it and then like
Okay.
take a moment.
Rumiel is prone.
No, he's not prone.
Remember that.
One knee.
Yeah, he's on a knee.
That's not prone. Those are very different. They're very different.
He's half prone.
Yeah, because if you're shooting something, you're prone. You got 2 arms steady. If you're on a knee and you're shooting something, that's 1 arm steady. Those are 2 very different things.
you're on a rock, you're rock steady.
Merry Christmas.
That's a very Thadric thing to say.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. That is our gift to you, chat. Terrible jokes. I hope you expect more of this in 2021 because we're not changing, nor should you. And with that, the Hellhound.
I hope things change in 2021. Don't say that.
Now Lauren's just gonna break down and cause us all to go. Thanks, Jared.
Put up paper, Lauren.
Put up paper, Lauren.
The Hellhound bites out at this tree Rex as it's dancing around and trying to not get hit and misses. The tree Rex does swing its tail up and over Ari's head. What is going on with these dice tonight? And bites out at the Hellhound and misses that too. I don't know what's going on.
He has a big head and little arms. This plan was not well thought through.
Cedric, are we doing another dagger here?
Of course I'm doing a dagger.
Perfect. Here it is.
I'm not gonna walk up to a tree Rex. Except this time I'm gonna throw it right over the druid's head.
Man in plate with 20 armor class.
Come on, what are you doing, man?
I don't have a weapon that is good for a tree.
He's like, guys, I'm just a dude.
I've got a sword and I've got a mace. None of them are particularly tree worthy.
He's the glass cannon of the group, I guess.
Also, I'm the one killing it.
17 hits.
What are you talking about?
5 damage.
5 damage. Fortunately, Cedric, as you see that crack in the forehead of this tree Rex that Ari had made, you aim for it, and the blade twists ever so nicely and ends up right in the center of that crack, and you hear a nice large pop as you see this tree Rex split all the way down the center and fall into 2 halves of this tree and goes inanimate. Inside, it seems to be more or less...
Is it filled with chocolate?
Tree. It's not filled with chocolate. This isn't a candy-giving tree. This is a present-giving tree.
So
How
there's
much
presents?
donations from chat do we need for a candy tree?
I don't have a number on that.
So wait. You heard the DM say it's a present-giving tree, not a candy-giving tree, right?
Yes.
So we busted it open like a piñata, so technically shouldn't we all get presents now?
Yes, you do. There
Yes.
are...
I will take dragon scale armor.
There are 6 wrapped gifts sitting within this tree.
Oh, he's not kidding.
Oh, I hope they're daggers.
I want one.
Each of them wrapped identically. And as you are all investigating this now inanimate tree, you do notice there's also what seemed to be like a little riding saddle or something nestled within the branches, as if a smaller humanoid rode this creature.
Aw, no, I'm sad.
Oh, I could have had a tree Rex as a mount.
I'm sorry, mate. I did not prepare speak with plants. I didn't think that was gonna, come up this session.
So there are 6. There are 6 gifts, each wrapped identically. Let's go in our turn order. Tell me, gift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Ari.
Oh.
Are they white elephant rules? Like, do I get to pick the first present and the last present? Will anybody steal mine?
No, you just pick a present.
Dang,
3?
now I'm stuck with the last one.
3. So you pick up a present. It's nice and heavy. And as you pop the top of it and look inside, there's a small figure made out of wood that looks like a little warrior type. She has brown yarn hair, and on the little warrior, you notice she does have dragon scale armor that that she's wearing.
Insult to injury.
Garth.
This is a voodoo doll?
It looks like a child's toy.
Turn. I will go with number 1.
Number 1, my lord. As you pick up the box, it's very lightweight, and the top seems to lift just as easily as Ari's had. But as you open it, a small puff of like a green smoke comes up and does 3 damage to you, sir. 3 poison damage. And
Merry
now,
Christmas.
now as you've
I'm a stout halfling, so take that. I have advantages on saves.
all right, in that case,
Against-
you get 0
poison?
poison damage. It just coughs up into your face and makes you gag a little bit as the putrid smell is not very pleasant. Now seeing that, Rumiel, which gift would you like to grab if you wish to grab one?
2. I'm
2.
going for it. I'm very curious about this tree.
As you pick gift number 2 and
Through
rattle
the
it
tears.
around, you look inside, and inside there are a bunch of woodworking tools. So there's a lot of like small ornate carving tools, nothing like large, but these are made for like creating small figurines. And it's a very nice set of woodworking tools.
Oh, the perfect.
Adding that to my list.
There you go. We get to Thadric.
What the heck?
Thadric,
Well, there's 2 left, right?
there's 3 left.
3 left.
Yep,
4, 5, and 6, right?
I believe so, yes.
I'm gonna go with 5.
5. All right, so we have 4 and 6 left. And on 5, you lift this box up, and inside, you open it up, and there's a bandolier that looks very similar to what you have your daggers stored in, but there's no daggers within it. And there's a little note that says, "Sorry, we couldn't pack the sharps."
I recover my sharps and put them in this thing.
There you go. This bandolier is in much better condition than yours, but now you have 2.
There you go.
We get down to Valari. There's 2 gifts
12
left.
daggers.
Does Astro get one?
Which do you choose, 4 or 6?
I choose 4.
4. All right. As you dig into 4, you get
Oh no.
a nice like jingling sound as you pick up the box. And when you pop it open, you notice that inside there is a set of collars with bells on them. 2 collars for what could be small to medium-sized dogs.
Oh, they're
And
boys.
they are green and blue.
Aw. Can I open number 6 too?
As you go to reach for number 6,
No, hold up.
Astro
Those are for the dogs. Those aren't for me.
Astro goes diving in and,
Technically, we don't have 2 for both hellhounds.
and grabs the last gift. So Astro's shaking the last gift, seeing that you guys are opening it up. And as he shakes it, the lid flies off, and a sewing kit comes flying out, and a leatherworking kit flies out, and a few things pop out that shouldn't have been in this small of a box, including a new writing set just goes shooting out, and then Astro shreds the box.
Oh, damn it.
So there's a leatherworking kit, a sewing and mending kit, and a kit for writing, quills, paper, etc. So you may go
Garth runs
steal
over
one of
and
those.
picks up the writing equipment.
There
Well,
you
of
go.
course. But of course.
Leatherworking kit and I believe, what was the other one? I don't have it listed here.
Leatherworking
That was-
and sewing.
Sewing, yes. Leatherworking and mending. Sorry, I had rolls on those. So leatherworking and mending kit are laying there for anyone to take or just leave or re-gift. It's up to you. White
Roger.
elephant rules, if you want to trade out your doll, you may, Ari. You can leave the doll in the snow and pick up something of use.
I go and I'm gonna put the blue collar on Astro and I'm gonna put the green collar on the Hellhound.
What was that, Ari? Sorry?
I said I'm gonna find somebody with supersize magic skills, and I'm going to supersize and steal this doll's armor. So I will hold on to it. I will also pick up the kit.
There we are. Now, you may take those gifts. It is mid-morning, and you're not too far outside of town, and you do see people kind of bustling about in town, where the small footprints had led back that were around this tree. And here is a wonderful spot for players to take a brief break. We're going to go on break for just a few minutes. We're going to get some refreshment. You do as well. It'll be 10 minutes. There will be a counter on your screen. But if you're not looking at your screen, you can listen for our theme song. It'll play. You'll have about a minute when we get back. So we will see you all in 10 minutes to see what's happening within this town. And while we're on break, do enter the drawing, ! Ticket. Shadow Reels, you will catch the rest of the episode. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you later, and we'll see the rest of you in a few. Bye-bye. Hi, and welcome back from break. I hope your gingerbread cookies were wonderful. Now we're on the right scene. I just had a scene missing Austin. We didn't get rid of him that quickly. Yet. We're back. After defeating the Tree Rex, the party did get a few gifts, which you could too if you type !ticket into chat while you're watching the rest of the show. At the end of the show,
fair, entering is not going to get you a gift, but it gets you a chance of winning a gift.
Yes, at the end of the show, true. We will draw from the tickets that have been purchased, quote unquote. They're free. You don't put any money in there unless you want a tip. That's cool. But !ticket gets you in the running to win a set of dice, which we draw at the end of the show, and you could be an absolute winner then. They are blacksmith craft, and they are beautiful metal dice. But yes, we are coming back to having just split the Tree Rex into a couple parts, and we just unwrapped the gift of Thadric there. Thank you for your unwrapping there, Thadric.
Yeah, I don't know. That was an accidental button push. I'm sorry.
Accidental button push. Cute. It's okay. We're live. We're good. We didn't take down the stream yet. And I think Rumil was approaching the party to talk to them about a few things.
Yes. It's now that we have a bit of a moment to breathe. It seems it would be best for me to at least fill you in on what I know. After I left you all back at the city at Standing Rock, I went north. And I was helping some rangers to track something in one of the forests there. It's overall a very nice forest. Saw some fae there, but there was something amiss. But while we were tracking it, the trail went dark and cold, and we lost it. But once we had lost it, I received word that there was something sort of terrorizing the towns in this area. The people, the rangers that I was with, it seemed familiar to them. They called it a kringle, I believe. And from their description and from the description of the messengers, it seemed like a yeti, as I mentioned before, but a yeti with gnome servants, and it had already left a couple of devastated towns in its wake. Apparently, according to the rangers that I was with, this is a sort of an annual thing, that it happens once a year. While I was certainly wanting to continue tracking whatever it was that we were, the trail had gone cold, and this was a very immediate danger with something a bit peculiar to it. So I left the rangers in that northern forest and traveled here. Once I had been going about the town trying to find any sort of evidence of what the messengers were talking about, I hadn't found much, but I did see the tower, and you all show up. So I've only been in town a couple of days. I haven't found a whole lot of evidence, but clearly when I was talking to you, it decided to run past. So I thought it was a Yeti. The track seemed to be a bit different, but at least now, hopefully, you have some idea of what we're looking for.
And almost to that.
I've heard of the.
Almost to the
what?
proper ending of the story that brought Rumil to the party. In town, a blizzard seems to form at the center of town. There's such a blinding force, and it grows from the center of town towards the party. It grows so quickly that it blasts Astro back onto his butt and causes a few of you to stagger a bit. The force seems to be blowing from the town direction, and you can only see about 6 to 8 feet in front of you as it is a blinding whiteout. The wind is howling in your ears, and you are now stuck in a winter snowstorm.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
Is there snow on the ground currently?
Yes, there is snow on the ground. It's accumulated to about 6 inches to upwards of a foot where it drifts.
I'd like to approach one of the drifts.
Okay.
And go towards the base of the drift and just start digging out and maintaining that for a hot minute until we figure out what's happening.
Okay. As you do that, you're able to provide a little bit of cover as the drift builds up. And you're able to see the snow blow up and over this drift that you're building to give you a little bit more visibility and breathing space. It only takes a matter of moments as the snow is blowing quite heavily to start building this cover for you.
I'll help him.
And as you're doing that, between the two of you, you're able to build quite a mound that you have almost a pocket of quiet and calm to figure out what's next.
Can we see this happening?
See what, the mound building up?
Yeah, you mentioned that the visibility was very limited.
You are all close enough to begin with to see where you were at.
Okay.
And I would assume that there isn't a lot of motion that is needed for any of you to build this mound. Some of the visibility might go in and out. Like you might lose sight of someone briefly, but they don't fully disappear into the void of snow. Sure.
How far away are we from town?
Only a few hundred feet.
Okay.
It's getting pretty cold out here, guys. Can we go to town now?
Barth says as he's standing there shivering in this little drift buildup.
If this creature
Make
that
a
I'm...
chain.
What was that?
Say make a chain, hold hands, cha-cha, into town.
I think I might be in agreement with that, Rumil shouts over the wind. If the creature is leaving devastation in its wake, this could be a bit of magic that it conjures before the next town. We should probably get into town before this becomes its next victim.
you're saying there's a monster in town? I'm not quite sure about going there if there's a monster.
You can stay
kind
here,
of kneel
please.
down, and I'm gonna produce a flame in my hand just to kind of give a little bit of warmth. And Rumiel's gonna kneel down by Barth and say, Barth, a monster is coming. The monster is not in town, but it is coming, and it is a time to be brave. You remember Mac at Standing Rock, and before, how you were a brave one, and we called on you to help us. Now is yet another time for you to be brave with us. This town needs you, Barth, and without TikTok, you're the last one that we can depend on.
Okay. I mean, it was a dynamic duo, TikTok and I, but I'll do what I can.
And he pulls a small dagger out of his boot.
I'm ready for this monster. Let's go.
Can I have
Did you just say follow Lola, let's go?
Can I have Billiam? If we're in this line of going away, can I have Billiam S. Doggo Esquire kind of continually up and down the line to melt away a little bit of it and also kind of keep track of everyone?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of ask him to do that. Can you roll me 2 animal handlings to see if he understands what you're trying to get him to do?
I can. Let's see.
Can I help him with that?
Yeah. If you're all working together, yeah.
So go at advantage if I'm helping you.
Okay, good, because that first roll would have been a 1. 22 for the first one.
All right.
And 17 for the second one.
Perfect.
Also a 1 on the disadvantage part.
Now, as you've done that, and you're kind of like motioning and speaking to Billiam, the Hellhound lets out a little grumble, and you see him build up a little bit of smoke and fire in his mouth, and he kind of puts his nose to the ground and starts huffing and puffing. You see little puffs of steam and smoke, and he starts building a little bit of a path to start you guys heading towards town. And you see the snow hit him and sizzle into steam as he's doing this.
I'm going to move towards the front, and I'm actually going to wild shape into a black bear.
Okay.
So I'm going to move to the front and then just kind of grow in size just a little bit, because it's still a medium creature, but I'm going to get a little bit of a strength and advantage to try and push through the snow. And the bear has advantage on smell checks. Okay. So since the wind is coming against us, I'm going to be sniffing the air, pushing snow, and just checking if I notice anything odd coming from town.
So, Mold Earth, it allows you to excavate difficult terrain. Would I just be able to clear a path with Mold Earth as we go?
I believe it's earthen terrain. Let me quick.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. That's a good point.
Because mine just says normal terrain. Difficult or normal terrain.
All right. An area of loose earth. You choose a portion of dirt or stone that you can see within range. So if you want to turn the dirt to try and suck in some of the snow, I'll allow you to make it not difficult terrain. But you're not able to just scoop the snow out of the way. It's dirt or stone.
That seems like a technicality. But...
Welcome to D&D.
Have you
had shape water?
Ooh,
shape water, Mike?
Where's that portal?
Need him.
Where's Kreslin?
That's only good for one thing, and it's drinking ale.
I have to admit, that was a very creative way to drink ale. So cheers to Kreslin.
I mean, if you believe you've spent time in the snow, I'll let you move a little bit of it, but you can make it not difficult terrain. That's where we're at. So you can walk on it instead of trudge through it slowly.
Whatever, it's fine.
All right.
I don't really care.
All right.
One wild shape.
My only other thing is I'd shoot a firebolt through it, and then boom, we have a path.
Should we carry our little guy?
I still have B1RD actually.
You do.
But I imagine in the wind he's probably huddled pretty close. Like, I would not send him out, I don't think.
We're only a couple 100 feet. Let's just go.
Yeah. No, I'm already available.
We're like buckling in, like we've got to cross the Atlantic. We got to go like 30 yards.
We have to solve the snow puzzle.
I mean, to be fair, that we probably spent 30 seconds going, I could do this. No, I could do
Ori's
this.
like
no.
in the
Okay,
town
bye.
already waiting for us. Like, what
See, here's the thing.
I
Like,
got
if I,
a hot cocoa.
Now,
I still want to be able to, like, kind of sense something, because I fear town.
yeah.
Like, if there's something in town, I want to be able to smell it before it gets to us.
And I'm gonna prestidigitate. Can I prestidigitate warm? Like hit like Barth's cloak as warm? Because since he was shivering.
I believe you may. It's a
'Cause-
sensory effect.
It says clean, soil, chill, warm.
So
Yeah.
he might still die of hypothermia, but he'll feel warm doing it.
At least he's comfortable. Like, we're taking care of him, but at least he's not so uncomfortable.
You're fine. Don't worry. Those fingers are supposed to turn black and fall off.
Maybe we'll stop dragging around a 7-year-old.
We rescued him, and we haven't gone to town
It's
yet.
our fault he like got in this whole mess in the first place.
Not really, but
So we make it to town?
As
Yeah,
you're making
go.
your way to town, just before you get to the edge of town, Rumil, you do catch a scent, very odd scent, something like what you were following. It's a bit sour and dirty, almost like a fur that has been unwashed for a long time, and it's very familiar to what the rangers were hunting. And you believe it's only 60 feet ahead of you, so closer to potentially the few homes that you'd seen.
Okay. 60 feet ahead.
And it is still coming down and blowing very hard at you all.
Okay. I have thoughts, but they will wait. So, I'm going to, like, as the bear, he'll kind of, instead of like pushing and shoving snow, he's gonna like take a bit of a more defensive stance
Okay?
and turn around and like growl towards the first person in line. Just a low growl, like a warning, like instead of a like call it challenge growl, it's gonna be a low like whatever that whoever interprets that as. But he'll let a low growl and then like ease forward.
As Garth, I assume he burped.
All right.
That's fair.
As you ease forward, you do notice there is a town's guard holding a small shield up and walking forward and catches sight of the bear, and he stumbles over and like puts the shield up and the sword towards the bear, not expecting a
think
bear to
as
be
soon as-
walking into town.
As soon as he sees people, like he's gonna like shape out of it. That was mainly to get into town.
Yeah,
So
and
as soon as I see the guard stumbling, he'll wild shape out, shield up to try and brace against the snow.
as you do, the guardsman notices you and recognizes you to be the outsider that had recently come into town, and he stands up and motions in the direction that you are heading, and kind of tries to let you know there's danger ahead. And he puts his shield up and continues walking forward, pushing against the snow, blowing at all of you. You all seem to believe you hear a few clangs of weaponry and maybe a scream not too far out, but the snow and the wind is muffling it. And just as you hear that, you see the other town's guardman being thrown backwards in the snow and lands on his back and has a smoldering spot on his chest. Not that he's dead or anything, but he just got hit with something of flame type that knocked him backwards. And he lays there taking heavy breaths as he was knocked on his back.
Come on.
So is he laying on the ground?
Yeah, he's laying on his back. He'd been thrown by like an explosion or something that caused him to get tossed out of where he's
You
at.
say the sound of like weapons. Does it sound like a lot?
Metal?
No,
Or, yeah.
it sounds like 2 or 3 combatants engaging. So
Okay.
potentially this guardsman and maybe 1 or 2 others.
We can't see where any sound is coming
No.
from. And we don't see anyone else, just this guy.
Nope, the guardsman that you had seen that had fallen over at the site of Rumiel is there trying to lead forward to whatever this commotion is.
So what direction? He's like laying this way with his head like near our feet?
Yeah, so he kind of got blown backwards as he was facing the same direction as you and kind of landed on his back.
Yeah.
His head is towards you and his feet are towards where you're headed.
Well, I'd push forward.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, moving forward, I'm definitely gonna have I'll cast whatever it means, Shillelagh on my staff and produce a flame. I'm assuming that being a war caster, since he doesn't need to have the somatic movements,
Mhm.
and maybe this is a little bit of retcon, Jared. I apologize, but that when he produces flame, that he has practiced it enough that he can produce a flame at the tip of the staff. So
Yep.
that's what kind of where I've been casting it from. Since if I don't have a free hand and I have to launch a ball of fire, it's not a fireball, but that he would be launching it through the staff.
Yeah.
So if I conjure a flame and kind of like keep it at the tip of the staff and try and light something up, is that going to help at all in this storm?
It gives visibility to others to see you, because it is a
Sure.
light in like the snow, but it's not gonna open up any visibility
Gotcha.
for you. It does keep something ready for attack, but it doesn't open any line of sight.
As we're pushing forward, I'm just gonna take a little bit of a risk. We hear the sounds of battle in front of us. I'm gonna push forward a few steps. Like as a bear, I had smelled it a little bit, and estimated 60 feet. Now that's pretty rough.
Yep.
So we're gonna move forward, and then I'm just gonna launch it straight forward, not aiming at anything, just sending a ball down the street as a scout to try and light something up as we go and see if that helps.
All right. So as you do that, you end up sending the ball forward, and you'd expect it to fly for quite some time before hitting anything, but only about 20 feet out, roughly, you believe. So a pretty quick hit. You hear, boom, ah! And the snow slows down a bit, and you hear footsteps tromping up towards you, large, doom, 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 doom. And up in front of you, standing about 10 feet tall, is an incredibly muscular, white-furred creature with large fangs, blood already dripping from its mouth, and it throws its hands up in the air and lets out a roar, and as it does, the roar pierces ears to the point where it almost makes your ears ring, and in that roar, it turns into a big ball of snow and explodes in front of you, and the blizzard that you were experiencing dissipates. This thing essentially dissipated into the snow, and up ahead where you'd sent the fireball, there's a small humanoid with its cloak on fire laying there trying to pat the flame out. Next to him there's a body of the third town guardsman of the 3 towns guard, and he is bleeding from like the neck and shoulder. And there's one of the hunters that you had been working with, one of the rangers, who quickly runs up to you, Rumiel, huffing and puffing, and he goes, "So this is why this thing has been so hard to get." And he grabs his side a bit. "It seems to be one with the snow. It shouldn't have gotten far, but I'm not quite sure."
I'm going to do something. I need to look through my spell list to see exactly what.
All right. As you're taking this information, the ranger stands up and looks at the rest of the group with Rumiel. "I see he's recruited a few friends. Are you hunting this Yule creature as well?"
Apparently.
Sure.
"Well, its pelt brings quite a sturdy sum of gold, and, well, to not have to worry about it eating one of your own," and he points to the guard who's bleeding and holding his shoulder and laying there. A few people rush out of the small restaurant inn and start putting towels on the guard's shoulder. The ranger looks back and goes, "So, it fetches a pretty price, and it gives you security if you take it out. And I'm sure you would join me in the hunt if we knew where it's at. The inn up there, as Rumiel might already know, has quite a good selection of food if you wish to wait for our next orders of direction. I need to catch up with the rest." And he lets out a whistle, and a hawk flies down and lands on the ranger's shoulder, and he hands a small paper to the hawk that's got like a little crest or symbol on it, and the hawk flies off. "What was it that you wish to ask me, Rumiel?"
Rathilian, you're injured. Here, allow me. And I'll shift the staff to the other hand and kind of just put my hand on the injured place.
Mm-hmm. On his side.
And Rumiel's gonna kind of close his eyes, and you get a little ray of sunlight. He's gonna cast the Balm of the Summer Court. It's just 1d6, but I'm meaning to mainly like close up the area. Yep. Do you want me to roll for that, or you just want?
No, we'll go with story fun. You are able to at least patch him up for the moment. And the ranger gives you a nod and stretches, and then he quickly goes and starts attending to the guard who is bitten, excavating the wound of some of the dirt and cloth that had been pierced into it, and really taking care of the man on the ground.
I will follow him to the man on the ground and do kind of the same thing, just kind of preliminary. There could still be other lingering issues. I'm just trying to keep the blood on the inside.
Perfect.
So I'll cast 2 of those.
Perfect. As you're attending to the man, you are able to stabilize this guardsman, and a few others rush out to help get him lifted up and hobble him down the street to what appears to be his home, and they get him inside, and a few towels come out to you and the ranger to clean up from the mess. This happens very quickly, and as that's happening, the rest of the party, what is it that you do? Ari, do you want to hop in and do some med checks? All right.
Garth would probably want to get inside. I know we had technical difficulties, so I don't know everything that just happened. But it's still cold out.
Yeah, it was cold.
Apparently, we need to regroup. So let's do that.
Yeah. As you're looking around
with the technical difficulties, you caught most of the large part of what's going on.
They were just frozen in this blizzard.
Frozen.
And now, as the snow is just a standard light falling and the wind has calmed down, you notice that there is an inn that had been pointed out, and Barth is already running up towards it. to get warmth and food, and I believe that is what you'd be looking for as well, Garth.
Yep.
As you enter in, it's a very small tavern, only about 3 tables, and the man behind the counter looks up. Hello, travelers. Welcome to my inn, and I do wish that you find a seat. We do have some treats being prepared, and we hope you join us. The festival of Festivus, one might say, or the Snow Festival, is happening this evening and tomorrow, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of. You can decorate our tree over there, and there's a tree in the corner that's got very similar trimmings to the one you just killed out in the forest. And he looks around and goes, I'll send some warm drinks to you both. Is the child with you?
Ish.
Okay. Well, I'll get him a hot cocoa and a blanket, and find a table. There's plenty to choose from. And he snickers and walks into the back of the bar area and kind of around the corner to start preparing a few things. The rest of the party, are you following in, hanging out with our dear Rumiel?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. Cleric,
that-
what are you
that'd
doing
go in,
here?
Sure.
The
Alright.
cleric is just hanging out, having fun.
Yeah, that'll go into the tavern.
Hello, traveler. Welcome. Are
He's with me.
Okay. Well, join him at the table. Warm drinks are coming out. And he pops his head back around the corner.
Go inside.
This old man keeps peeking his head around. Hello,
Drink with me.
Okay. Every time he keeps popping in to greet you all, and by the final opening of the door, hello, traveler. Are you with them? Okay.
At my table.
Yeah.
Perfect. The dogs. They may join inside as long as they don't chew up any of the furniture.
Well, those dogs aren't ours.
Hey!
Just kidding. Those are with me too.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say, a sentient, incredibly intelligent dog entering the bar. It's been quite a few years. The last one talked to me, and we had a great conversation. Neither of them talk, do they?
No?
Well, okay.
Talk?
If
Do
you
they
have
do
any
that?
Beef that you were smoking when you talked to the dogs, I would love some.
I was not having any smokes at that time. I just tried a new ale. We still have some of that. It's a very
How about
vintage
some
brew.
of that?
I'll bring it
I
out for
want
you.
to try it if it'll make Astro talk.
It'll make Astro talk to me. Okay.
Hey, if I can cast talk with animals without wasting a spell slot, oh heck yes.
And drinking beer.
and
Does it
Rumiel
seem like
is-
we'll have like an hour or so in here?
yeah, it seems like it's a pretty quiet time. As Rumiel had been informed by his ranger friend, there's a few different groups of rangers in the area hunting down this beast, and the companions with the beast. And it does seem like it's a pretty quiet afternoon for you.
Because I can take an hour now and drop my die on the floor, but I could also fix that hilt.
Yeah, do that.
As the hilt is handed from Ari to Thadric, Ari, you again hear some mumbling in the back of your head as you grab hold of the hilt. Is all you understand. And Thadric, you begin to hear some mumbling in the back of your head, very similar, but it doesn't seem like a voice that you recognize.
It's gonna take an hour.
Yep.
Him basically sitting in a corner by himself,
All right.
just kind of. You see bits and pieces of ore kind of just appear and like start forming themselves into this blade.
Man, I want that power.
So is this considered a short rest?
Hmm.
Just
No,
for
'cause that's
technicality's
4
sake.
hours, right?
For technicality's sake, it would be considered roughly a short rest. I think they're a 1 to 4 hour time frame, as long as you're sitting there, not really working on much.
Okay,
so
that
for
requires a long rest. Never mind. I was gonna see if I get some of my Balm in the Summer Courts back, but that's long rest. Never mind.
for the rest of you, it would be more of a short rest. For Thadric, he's working on something, so it's probably not very restful for him. So
Sure. Copy.
now, as you're all sitting there conversing, drinks and a few small treats make it to the table. A few older pieces of bread, day or two old. The old man says, "If you hang on a second, I believe I've heard there's some treats that have been imported."
Yes, I get my wild shape back.
What are you mumbling about over there, sir? And he points to the druid.
He gets his wild shape back. Sorry, I was very excited.
Well,
Obviously.
whatever that means to you. And he stumbles. He steps away and kind of stumbles over the dogs laying next to the table. "Sorry, pups. I hear there's some cookies that have been imported into town. I'll sneak you one, pups." And he walks off. And partway through this rest that you're getting, one of the town's guard walks in. "Well, you lot, you missed quite a battle with a beast out there. It stood 20, 30 feet tall and had fangs and claws and it was rough. Did you see the man out there?"
We fought a tree.
A tree wrecked. Don't make it sound.
So you
I
were
did see something of a sort. Had long fangs, and I hurled some fire through the air to try and get a better look, but I seem to have hit it. It
no.
burst into the snowstorm and disappeared.
Well, I don't think that you hit it, but a gnomish figure was out there. Was he with you? He seemed to have dashed back behind some of the homes. I didn't know if he was traveling with you lot. We hadn't seen him in town.
No. He's not with us. I have heard that he was with the thing we are tracking, this very monster that you are speaking of. Do you happen to know which way he went?
He went back over behind the guard's home that had gotten that nice bite in his shoulder.
It's probably lost by now. With the snowstorm and all, those tracks would be completely obliterated. Still.
How long ago, how much time has passed since we stepped in till we get this news?
How much time? Probably about 20 or 30 minutes. The guardsman was most likely making rounds, verifying that everyone was safe in town and not really rushing right in to follow you.
Sure.
It sounds like the way he described the situation, he followed this other character for a moment before letting him go off into the snow.
Sure.
But 20, he's going to be lost at this point. Good sir.
Yes.
I have heard only rumors and stories of this creature. It said that he comes every year. What do you know of this? The rangers tell me he's called the Kringle. What do you know of it?
Well, it depends on which mountain peak you're on. This peak, they call him the Kringle. And on a peak just out there, and he kind of points out the window a bit. Only a couple days' travel, they call him the Yule Monster. And then on another peak, I hear that they call him, Sir Grumpy Snow Person. And those dwarves, they really come up with great names.
They're idiots.
All right. I have a cousin who's a dwarf.
Coming hard against the dwarves, man.
I have a cousin who's a dwarf,
a little
but
bit racist. What can I say?
If he comes every year, why weren't you better prepared?
Well, he only seems to hit a couple of the peaks every year, and we're not quite sure which. There's not been a pattern in the last 20 or 30 snows that we've been able to figure that out.
Huh.
So, this Kringle, he's a mean one?
He is a mean one.
He sounds like a heel.
I wouldn't touch him with a 39.5-foot pole.
Well, you would probably have to touch him with something about that long or shorter with a sharp end if you want to get him out of town. But, if you have a 39.5-foot pole around, I would love to see how you fight with that.
Have you seen him before? Is this the first time he's hit this town?
About 2 or 3 snows back, he hit this town. I was actually
By
traveling.
snow, do you mean year? Because, like, it seems like it snows a lot here.
No,
It wasn't last week, was it?
Oh, we get snow all the time, but we call the snow just our winter season. It comes down quite hard, and this is a very light day, and he looks out and it's coming down in large flakes.
Cool.
But, forgive me for interrupting your rest here. I hear that, there's another traveler or two that have made it here. I'm not quite sure how you've done such a thing, as most of the passes have been fairly well closed off, and dear Rumiel here says he came in by a bird. Whatever that means. Rumiel, beers later once I'm off.
Oh, but of
We'll
course.
be back here.
Only the strongest.
The rest of you, I must make my rounds through town. It was a pleasure meeting you. And he walks out.
So, get a bit of a rest, go looking for the little gnomes who can lead us back to the Kringle so that we can destroy it and save everyone.
Works for me.
That seems to be a good line of direction. I fear that by the time we actually go to seek out this gnome's trail, it will have been completely obliterated by the snowstorm.
The old man leans out. You mean it would have gone cold? Leans back in.
Precisely.
Cedric rises, draws his weapon, and charges. No.
I'm gonna like. Oh, what do I have? What do I have? I have a silver. Yep. I'm gonna flip a silver towards the bar. I don't even care if anyone catches it. I'm gonna flip a silver and be like, "Buy that man a drink."
I'm already drinking, thank you, sir.
Keep the silver.
Go.
As you do that, you do hear a little bit of commotion in the back, and a cool breeze comes through the back door, the back entry briefly, and the old man walks in. Oh, I told you that the treats were arriving, and he sets a couple large plates of cookies on the countertop. A bunch of gingerbread men, weird shapes, little ginger cookies that are shaped like humanoids, all with painted faces and clothing and whatnot on them. Every one of them very unique. And he eyes the table. Give me just a few minutes. I need to let the town know they're here. We let the children eat some of these first, and then you all may join in. And Barth stands up from the other end of the room and rushes over and just stares at the cookies, eyes wide. And you hear the back door rustle a little bit more, and some yelling out the back. The old man's screaming something about cookies or treats or they've arrived. You can't quite understand what he's saying. And as he does that, you hear Barth go, I want to eat all of these cookies so bad. I don't know which one. Two.
Cookie heist?
Oh, two.
2 handfuls? 2 platefuls?
cookies.
Okay, fine.
I hand 2 off the plate. Go sit away from the cookies.
He grabs the cookies and sets them in front of him and just stares at them for a few minutes.
I'm not sure what to eat. You first or you first? Or do I eat a leg off of this one and a face off of that one? Oh, do I have to name you guys first?
And he's just
Don't
mumbling.
eat them, Barth. It just makes it worse.
And as that's all going on, about an hour has passed, and the blade is nearing completion. Sir Thadric, how does that look as you finish up the blade, and what does the blade look like as you've completed it?
the look of it is that same kind of red hot metallic glow that happens for his guiding bolt.
Okay.
With kind of the sparks coming off until it finalizes its formation, and then it kind of just fades out to a dull, non flashy kind of metallic gray, like a hardened metallic. There's nothing really ornate about it, except at the bottom right side of where the tang meets the hilt. There's just the imprint of the family crest there.
Nice.
It's
Do you do anything with it? Do you leave it on the table? Is it hot? Is it ready to pick up?
I'd probably check its balance to just make sure it's balanced correctly, and then I'd hand it hilt first back to Ari because it's her sword. So
I like that you said hilt first. I just want to point it out.
Here's your sword.
like to me, like that shows the sign of this is a craftsman. Like he knows a thing or two.
I take the sword and I listen.
As you take the sword and you hold on to it and inspect the blade and listen, it's quiet for a few moments. And then you hear, hello? Can you hear me out there? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, man. I thought I sent Marth to find somebody. Oh, well, I've been trapped in this. It's dark.
TikTok?
Yes, hello? Hello?
What are
Is
you
she
doing in this
talking
sword?
She's talking out loud right now, I believe.
Okay.
Guys, TikTok is talking from the sword.
Valari can only hear it in the back, or Ari can only hear it in the back of her head.
Yeah.
What?
All right, she's totally lost it.
No, I told you. That dude stopped being TikTok long ago.
TikTok, how did you get in the sword?
I'm in a sword? Oh man, I never thought I'd see the day I'm in a sword. Wait, I'm in a sword.
By the way,
is
Cedric,
it magical?
good to meet you. I just want to point that out.
Oh, yeah, no, dude. I've become accustomed to like comings and goings and not being where you want to be.
Well, you're going to have that a lot with this group.
Yeah. That's the end of statement. Yeah.
So I'm in a sword? Am I dead?
Yes.
Oh wow, that got real.
And he goes silent. You hear a little bit of a sob here and there, or so you believe, a moment or two later.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna sit in my corner or space or whatever this is for a moment and understand what being a dead sword is like.
You can talk to me anytime you want.
He knows he's a sword, though.
Well,
No one ever said he was smart.
she said that I was a sword, so I'm a sword.
I didn't say that out loud because clearly he doesn't hear this. But
So it's very quiet, and it seems that now there's this line of communication between Ari and this freshly built blade and hilt with the presence of TikTok inside. And the rest of you had heard her kind of talking to herself-ish.
I feel like I've seen some of this, like, I've seen some weird stuff in nature, but I've never seen anything with, like, once you get into metal, that's beyond my realm of comprehension. So I'm just going to be like, okay.
Can I do a religion check? Focusing
On yourself?
On the effect. Knowing that, you know, souls when they die go to like the fugue plane for a hot minute until they're called upon, and trying to figure out what's actually happening here.
Sure.
Well, that's probably not gonna do it. 13.
13. You, as you had said, that's what you believe should happen, but you feel like this soul has been lost or took a misstep or had been forced off of the standard pathway. But that's all you understand about it, is like, if there's a soul still around, it shouldn't really be here. So, you don't know why, you don't know how, but that's kind of what you believe in this moment.
Okay.
Guys, are the cookies supposed to be moving?
What?
I went to eat, Fred over
Wait,
here.
who's speaking right now?
Barth.
I went to eat Fred
Okay,
over
sorry, I
here.
thought it was TikTok, and then people responded, and I was like, wait, what?
Fred got up and started walking, and he's,
And as you look, you see Barth has one cookie laying in front of him, and another cookie is animate and climbing up to the rest of the cookies on the bar top. And as he reaches up to the bar top, the rest of the cookies stand up and kind of make two swarms of these cookies crawling all over one another into like mound shapes.
Nope, 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 nope.
You make us fight a cookie monster?
A cookie monster, or what about just swarms of gingerbread men? As these
Rumio thinks this is weird. He cast Shillelagh on his staff.
I'm like
gonna
laughing.
smash that thing.
as
This is freaking weird.
this is
What
happening.
are they gonna do? Rip their arms off and throw them at us? They're like this big and made of flour.
These
I don't
swarms,
care.
Come drop.
these swarms stand about 3 feet tall. The cookies from the platter, kind of like coming together to make a big, larger pile. And they're standing on top of the bar top.
No.
And Barth
Nope.
is backed away into the corner, and his remaining cookie hops down and runs over and starts joining the piles as this happens.
This is what happens when you name your food.
I didn't name that one. Oh man, should I name
Wait.
the rest of them?
No, just let it
Fuck.
go.
Did you eat one?
No, I was gonna eat Fred, but he just ran away.
God.
I wonder what he would have tasted like.
I would say point of action still stands. I feel like that still reveals action. So we can, whatever you want to do with that.
And as that happens, the masses kind of like lumber off of the bar top and move towards you all. I need you all to roll for initiative.
All right. Okay.
That feels about right.
Guys, guess
on
what
initiative rolls, I cannot be stopped.
Guess what I rolled?
1.
2.
A 2.
Oh. All right. And as we're setting up for this battle, yes, they are battling 2 swarms of gingerbread cookies.
Meaning 2 3-foot cookies.
2 3-foot piles of these cookies moving about on one another.
16.
I will say, exclamation point, ticket. That's what you need to type in chat. If you are joining us for the second part, exclamation point, ticket is all you need to get yourself within the giveaway. Yeah, I'm sorry, Awesome Shoe. You can only get 1 ticket.
That was an example, I promise.
Astro has a 16.
Astro has a 16.
I have a 4.
Ari, what is yours?
16.
16. Garth,
10.
10. Rumio,
Natural 20 for a 23. I
23.
cannot be stopped
Dadrick.
on initiative rolls. Anything past that, who knows? But initiative rolls, I'm killing it.
Thadrick's a 4, right?
3.
3. Ooh.
So it just means you get to miss your attack first.
Yeah, because that's how we're playing tonight.
That's exactly what that means.
Perfect. Because Rumil, you were really not liking seeing these cookies come alive.
Nope.
It works out. You're top of the turn order as these 2 piles of cookies come swarming off of the countertop.
Yeah, I said he was casting Shillelagh on his staff, and I just want to make sure spell casting. Okay. So he's smashing down on them. So that's exactly what's going to happen. He's casting Shillelagh on his staff, and then he's striking out with the staff itself.
All right. So, roll to hit. There's an armor class. These piles of cookies, we will play this fun, wonderful game. Each pile has about 20 some odd cookies in that. The cookies have a bit of health. Not a lot, as you'd expect a cookie to have. But as you do damage, these piles will get smaller, and that'll be the health for these things, just so you know visually what's going on.
They are shrinking.
All right. So, you said, what was your roll to hit?
The roll to hit was, I'm making sure, 3, 4, 5, 24.
24. That
God
totally misses a
we
pile
are
of
facing
cookies. No.
armor class 25 cookies.
It does hit. It does hit.
All right, since he... Actually, would he... I don't know. Okay, this is getting into a bit of a technicality. Would he have brought his shield... Would he have his shield equipped inside the bar?
Probably not.
Probably not. So I'm going to say that's a versatile swing.
Okay.
Which moves my armor class. It's going to drop my armor class.
But you're two-handed hitting.
I am going to go a two-handed swing.
All right.
On my staff. There you are. Okay, I'll take that. Let me double check. Shillelagh is just on the attack roll, isn't it? Is not on damage. Okay. 1d8. Oh no, it's for everything. Okay, so that will be 8.
8 points of damage.
If I read this correctly, that it transfers everything, the attack roll and the damage, to my spellcasting ability modifier. I believe that's how that works. That's how I'm reading it. So it will be 8. Yes.
All right.
It'll be 8 total damage, and that is magical damage.
Cool.
For whatever that means.
As you swipe through the swarm of cookies, you make contact with 2 of them and send them shattering to the floor in bits and pieces. The swarm that was closer to you, there is a swarm behind that one that is closer to Barth, who is on the other side of the bar at the moment.
No! Not Barth!
Now, it is Ari's turn.
2 swings.
2 swings.
I'm gonna say to the sword, tick-tock.
You're swinging with tick-tock. All right. So that'll take standard long sword... short sword stats here. If you need them, I can get them quickly.
It's a d6.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say that should be a 6.
So you'll use your same roll to hit as your longsword, but...
Yep.
Okay, so the first hit is a 15 and a 17 on the die, plus my 7, so I'm guessing they both hit?
Both hit, correct.
Cool. So the one is going to be... I would still get my plus 6, though.
Yeah.
Will be 11 points of damage and 10 points, so...
21?
21 points of damage.
21 points of damage. On the first swarm of gingerbread men, you're able to knock 4 gingerbread off of this, and they go in perfectly halved pieces to the floor as you slice through them with your new blade. The swarm has gotten a little bit smaller at this point. We move to Astro, who is backing up into the corner and whimpering a bit as food shouldn't be chasing after him. He's barking a bit at what's going on, but doesn't move forward to attack. Garth, it is your turn. Yes.
Ari, did you attack the same one I did, or did you attack a different one?
Yeah, that's the one closest to you all, unless Ari moved around it.
Okay,
I'll
no,
go to that one.
I just forgot which
Alright,
one she
that's
attacked.
fine.
That's
I
all.
didn't say.
So they've essentially come off of the bar. You're on one end of the bar. Barth is at the other end. And there's a table on either end, and then there's a table kind of near where these things are at. So you'll have to kind of move around the table if you want to get to the other. Garth, it is your turn.
Okay.
My turn?
Yes.
I know that these cookies were brought out on some sort of platter. Yes.
Yep.
Then we are going to launch said platter towards the cookies.
Okay.
They get... Oh, what's that? I'm divining that they're going to get a 9 as their dice roll for their dex save.
Cookies don't really have a very good dex.
Anyway.
So, 9 it is. How does this play out?
They gonna get smashed with a cookie tray.
All right. Cookie tray. Cookie tray
At,
incoming.
Like 90 feet per 6 seconds, however that math works. Sorry, I just gotta find my 3d8.
Gosh.
It only does 11 points of damage.
Only does 11 points of damage. You make this platter go straight through the center of the cookie mass and knock 2 off of the mass, and it kind of reforms around it. You see one of the gingerbread men at the very top shaking his little fist at you as you do this.
And with that, I end my turn.
All right.
Pass turn.
The hellhound backs over and stands over the small pup that is barking and yelping in the corner and stands to guard him, watching to see if any cookies have come off in any direction towards him. Valari, it is your turn.
So I am going to cast Ray of Sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I cast 2 spells that failed earlier, I imagine my wild magic will surge. Do you want to resolve that first or second?
We'll let you cast, and then as you've cast, the magic surges through you.
Okay. So I'm casting Ray of Sickness, and I rolled a 22 total.
Okay, are you going for the closer or further mound of cookies?
Which one's bigger?
The further mound, it hasn't been hit yet.
Nah, I'll go for that one then.
Okay.
So the 22, it hits, right?
It hits, but on a hit, they must make a
save, or you're
Constitution
also
saving.
poisoned, yeah.
Okay. All right. Their save roll is a 18.
Against my saving throw thing.
Yep.
So yeah, they saved, so
Okay.
they're not poisoned, but they're still gonna take damage.
It's poison damage, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. As you let out this ray of sickness,
I had a picture in my mind actually this time of what it would look like.
okay.
So I hit them with the ray of sickness, and I imagined that like some of the cookies or parts of the cookies are gonna start to turn like moldy, and then they just like fall
Well,
off.
you're half correct. The icing on the cookies kind of melts into very demonic-looking faces. Their cute little faces, grins and whatnot, turn very melty, gross, and they get a little bit of mold on them, but it seems to not cause any harm. They get a little more like antsy and ready to strike.
Nah. Okay. Well, on the wild magic, I have a 63.
A 63, pulling up the wild magic table, and that is. I think we've seen a 63 before.
I mean, we've probably seen everything before
Yes,
at
we
this
have.
point.
Valari,
Mhm.
you feel that there's a strong presence within you, especially around your vocal cords.
Oh no.
Yeah. If you talk in the next minute or so, you'll have to shout it. Sorry.
Have to, even if I'm like, hey guys.
Yeah, it'll be, hey guys! Sorry about your ears, chat.
I want her to have to act that out every turn, because if she uses a spell, it's got verbal components.
Do they?
You usually have to mutter or whisper or say something as you cast a spell. So anything
Most
that has a V.
spells, yes.
Anything that has a V, you're usually saying something as part of its
Oh.
components. And
Yeah, everything.
most
except for
casters
one.
most casters will like mutter this. Some will shout it. Some will just say it
I
normally.
literally have one that doesn't have.
So it's up to you if you don't want to shout it, but you're gonna have to shout something like
Yeah,
butterscotch
all
or
of mine
whatever it
have
may be.
now I'm going through to count how many I have that don't.
Yeah, mine too.
That's a very
Cedric.
short list, isn't it, Lauren?
But you still shout your magics. Your barbarian rage, you shout it.
Cedric, it is your turn as you see these desserts coming to life.
I will do
With a dagger.
thing.
A thing. I think you're well prepared for this. You weren't ready for a tree, but cookies.
I'm gonna. So there's two of them.
There's two mounds,
swarms,
yes.
right?
Yeah, there's a smaller swarm that's closer to you, and a slightly larger swarm that is now moldy and
Melty.
demonic looking.
I'm gonna go after the swarm that has not been hit.
Okay, the
not moldy one.
Oh,
no, that's the one they've been attacking.
That's the one that has been attacked. The closer one's been hit a couple times. It's smaller.
Well, I'll
and
go
normal
against
cookies.
the moldy one. Why not?
All right, there you go.
So I'm gonna reach. I grab my necklace and hold it in front of me as again the image of molten steel and sparks fly off as I cast guiding bolt at it for a total of 19 to hit.
19 does hit that swarm. What is your damage then, sir?
My damage is 25.
25. You obliterate about 5 of the cookies off of this one. And they go smoldering to the floor, leaving a stench behind because they were turned.
Burnt cookie.
Burnt moldy cookie.
Delicious.
My favorite.
And as they're dying and burning, he's like, "No, not the gumdrop buttons."
Gumdrop buttons. And then I'll run to put myself between Garth and
Wait, Garth or Barth?
Garth the boy.
Garth. Okay.
our little friend, not the child.
Oh, okay.
Put myself between him and the cookies.
All right, there you go.
He's a squishy guy.
Yeah, so you get in the way of the swarms. The moldy swarm then kind of climbs back up onto the bar a bit and drops off to the side over by Valari.
Cool.
And
That makes sense.
decides to attack. Now, it gets right up on you, Valari, like in your personal space.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a few of them with sharpened, pointed candy canes stabbing out at you.
Oh, those are no joke.
They're no joke. And because there's roughly 20-some in here, 13 of them will hit you. And let's see here.
There's no, like, roll against my armor class?
I'm rolling how many would get over your armor class at the moment. Just because I don't want to roll for 20 some of them. So swarm mechanics play a little different. And as 13 of them would hit you, you only suffer 6 points of piercing damage. Because they have a 0 to 1 damage with their pointy candy canes. So, they're a fun foe in mass, but they're not amazing if you start tearing them apart. Now, the second swarm comes up to Thadric, who's gotten in the way, and only 6 of them get past your armor class. And you take 2 points of piercing damage as only 2 of them successfully stabbed. And then one of them is actually up on your face and grabbing at your mouth, and he's leaning in going, "Eat me!" and trying to pull open your lip. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm both disturbed and intrigued.
All right.
13.
13. You pass, and his icing kind of melts on his little hands and can't get your mouth open, and you've got icing all over your face at the moment. He jumps back off into the mound that's right in front of you. Rumil, the mounds are right up in the personal space of Valari and of Thadric. The moldy mound at Valari and the non-moldy mound at Thadric.
Well, having seen Thadric's shiny armor, I'm going to go for the one that's in front of Valari.
Okay.
Still, I'm not going to be slinging any fire. I'm still just going with the staff, I think, at this point. Which still has Shillelagh on it. And that will be... Let me make sure. Oh, yeah, okay. 18? Yes, that's 18. How that works.
It does hit this mound of cookies, the moldy mound.
Okay. And I need you. And another 8.
8.
To the moldy mound.
You smash a few of the moldy cookies at the bottom of the mound as you swing down on them. Ari.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm pissed. These are weird.
Between I think I would switch to I would bring out my shield at this point. So I'm gonna go that still was a D8. I misread that because Shillelagh is naturally a D8.
Okay.
But I am going to bring out my shield second round if I can use that as an interactive object.
Usually a shield or a weapon is an action to...
Okay, then I'll leave it out.
Perfect.
I'm just
usually an action to like grab or pull or whatnot. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So I'm going to the one near Thadric and hacking away at these guys.
Okay.
They're both gonna hit.
Perfect.
It's a 16 and a 14 on the die, so math plus 7. So that's gonna be 16 damage total.
16 damage total. Perfect. You knock a handful more cookies off of the swarm, and you see that they're now kind of starting to stand on the shoulders of one another in order to stay upright as the swarm is getting smaller and smaller. All right, that leads us to Astro and the Hellhound, which I'll stick together as they're sitting back in the corner. They're choosing to sit out most of this fight at the moment. So it is Garth's turn.
All right. I'm just gonna. The range is just weird now. Things are getting really close. We're just gonna cast Magic Missile on the one that tried to force itself to be eaten.
Yeah, the first non-moldy mound.
So that is. Sorry, it's dark over here. Oh, that's 5 and 4 and 5. Oh, 14 points of damage from Magic Missile.
14 points of damage. You knock a bunch of the cookies apart, and this small swarm now is about 12 cookies standing on top of each other in a very flimsy pattern that comes up to about waist height in front of Thadric.
Nice.
Valari.
Cookie.
I was honestly expecting them to be gone. So I didn't prepare. There's one up on me, right?
Yes, the moldy mound's right in front of you.
I might just do like firebolt on them.
Firebolt. All right, let's do this.
Is that a ranged attack?
I believe it is. So it'd be
because if it is and it's within 5 feet, is that going to suffer
disadvantage?
Yeah.
Why? Even though it's just me going firebolt.
You were that kid in school, weren't you?
I was actually. Everyone hated me.
Hey, Austin, what team are you on right now?
Team Rumil.
I would have said the side like law and justice, except that Rumil's a chaotic good, so I don't know how to play that.
You stole my only nat 20 that I've had in weeks, and now I got a 15.
Hits. He runs away. Bye, Rumil. Nice knowing you.
And it's a D10. Oh, it's actually 2d10s.
He pulls the chair out of the green screen.
That is a.
You mean the
12.
White Mountain?
12. You are able to light more of these cookies on fire. It stands about 18 cookies tall in front of you, so about lower chest. And they're still around, but it is a stinky, stinky mess as you lit moldy cookies on fire right in front of you. Thadric, sir, the mound is in front of you, much smaller. You have icing on your face, and the cookie that tried to be eaten is still standing on top.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw my thing, short sword, and try and just stab at the heart of this ginger mound.
While
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
rolling,
yeah,
I
Patrick.
forgot that my spell would have been more like firebolt, and then the cookies would have like been a moldy smelling mess.
The flailing of tiny little men trying to jump in my mouth is throwing me off, and I have only successfully rolled a 7.
Ooh. Yeah, you just kind of swing at them, not sure what to do, not sure where the heart is, as you think it through in the back of your mind. The heart is where the home is. The home is... and you slice through
To the
and
gingerbread
miss
houses!
The moldy swarm in front of Valari, you hear a little voice, fire, fire! And you see a few of them shooting black jelly beans at you. The best kind of jelly bean.
Ew. Green.
In what world?
Right?
I think that was the point.
The best kind of jelly bean, guys!
I don't think he even likes jelly beans.
Okay, you take 12 points of poison damage from this.
Me?
You said
Valari.
12?
12 points of poison damage.
Well, I
Because
mean, they are black jelly beans.
out of all of the jelly beans, a few of them hit, and they are quite poisonous. They are black jelly beans, and they're also moldy black jelly beans, thanks to your fun earlier. We go to the first swarm in front of Thadric, and Thadric, you see that a few of them are now starting to pull back their candy canes, and like they're going to launch at you. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw twice, and give me both of those saves. Thadric, sir.
Is it against magic?
The damage itself is not magical, but these creatures are. So I would say no.
So a 4 and a 13.
A 4 and a 13. You save on one, and you fail on the other. You get 8 points of piercing damage as they find a few spots around your armor that these little candy canes stick through.
Freaking gingerbread man.
Why
Yep.
can't they be made of metal?
Why can't they be made
Dude,
of
seriously, you and I both are wondering this exact same question.
Because then they wouldn't be cookies?
As we're going to the top of
they'd
the
be
turn
cooked.
order,
Baked them real good.
as we're going to the top of the turn order,
High in iron content.
and we're and we're looking at the battle. The floor is more crumbled cookies than standing cookies, quite a bit more, to the point where you are probably 2/3 of the way, if not more, through each of these piles. Rumiel, how do you do that?
He's still like just playing whack-a-mole. So we're gonna keep with that. That's a soft 20.
Soft 20, that hits.
I'm gonna go with the one, since I attacked the one that was in front of Valari. I'm gonna stay there and just keep
Smashing on
eating on
perfect.
it.
What is your damage?
Question about that. That is a versatile weapon, which
Yep.
would be a D8.
Mm-hmm.
But Shillelagh, and I apologize, I didn't address this before, makes the weapon's damage die a D8. So would this be a D10 as a two-handed weapon? Or would it continue to be a D8? I'll let you make that call.
the thing about shillelagh is that it also then makes it a magical weapon.
Yeah,
just
the weapon's
bludgeoning
damage die
weapon.
becomes D8, and the weapon becomes magical if it isn't already.
Yeah.
So I will leave that to your interpretation because it's a little fuzzy, and I'll accept like, whatever you want to do with that. But I think it's worth at least posing the question.
Well, do you want magical or bludgeoning damage in this? I will let you have a bonus bludgeoning or a magical attack.
We'll just go with straight bludgeoning and see what happens.
All right. So you get a bonus to your bludgeoning then, a D10.
Okay. There's my 10. I should stuck with the D8. 6 total.
6.
Yeah.
You come down on 2 cookies and just shatter them to bits. There's barely crumbs on the floor, more of a powder. So you did what you did. Way to go. But this mound is now only a handful of cookies, 5 or 6, that are kind of at the ankles, staring up and shaking their little candy canes.
Bite your ankles!
We go to Ari.
No one got that?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just...
Double hack at the same one. Why won't you die?
That's 4.
That's gonna be 22 points of damage.
22 points of damage to the non-moldy.
Yes.
All right. You smash the remaining 7 or 8 cookies that were standing there and keep smashing them and slicing them up to the point where it's just like a gingerbread crumble, and the floor is sticky. And that leaves the gingerbread swarm that's only about 5 or 6 cookies standing in front of Valari, and they're the moldy ones. So Garth, the moldy ones are left over by Valari.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna stick with the one that's working. We're gonna go with Magic Missile again. That's
Come on!
5. That's 10, and that's 13.
13.
points damage.
Usually Magic Missile will hit 1 target per, but being that they're little cookies in a group, your Magic Missile hits 1 cookie and blasts through it and takes out a second cookie a couple times over as you're cleaning out the mess, leaving 1 remaining cookie molded with a big moldy beard and a big like moldy hat kind of coming off of his head, and
Come on,
a
curb
very
stomp
sharp candy cane standing in front of Valari. And
It's my
Valari, it is your turn.
Can I stomp on it?
You may stomp on it, you may shout at it, you may eat it, whatever you wish to
I
do.
just want to stomp on it.
You just want to stomp on it.
With my big old hoof.
All right. Just roll to hit. You can add your strength bonus on there if you need.
Strength. Well, I don't need to. It's a 15.
Okay, so that will hit.
And what's my damage? What am I
We'll
rolling?
just do a D6 for stomping on a
Just
small
one?
cookie. Just a D6.
I was gonna say a punch is what 1 or a D4, so that
Well,
seems.
That could have been worse.
Legit.
It's a
Mine is
2.
just 4.
Yours,
It's a
you have
2?
a straight 4 on a punch?
Yeah,
Dude.
unarmed strike is just a 4.
Holy cow!
Nice. So Valari, as you lift your boot up,
I think I
to-
should get at least a 4.
it doesn't matter. It's
I
a
don't
cookie with
Okay.
like 3
It's a one.
HP.
Okay, if it's
But
gonna die, it's gonna die.
As you're coming down with your boot, you hear, "I will be a threat!" And the cookie gets crushed into the floor, and you hear a satisfying crunch as you know you've both squashed it and its candy cane. And as the mess is coming to an end there, in the doorway from the back room, the old man is standing there, his jaw dropped. "What did you do with my cookies? What did they do? What
I
the?"
point to the child.
As you point to the child and you look up, in the window behind Barth is a small figure peering in and
Okay, you
drops
say
down.
a figure. Can you?
Yeah, it's a small cloaked person.
Okay.
Breathing up on the glass, so it's kind of fogged. It's a humanoid, and you see them disappear from the window and come stomping in and look around.
It's the gnome.
And it's the small gnomish figure that has a singed piece on his cloak. And he looks around and goes, "Well, you thought you could beat all of the cookies, and you thought you could beat us, but we will come back for this town." And he looks around at the group and then looks over his shoulder. "And my friend isn't where I expected him to be," and he starts backing out into the snow. What do you do?
May I?
Yeah, you guys may
Okay.
do stuff as he's backing out. That's fine.
Okay. As seeing him and knowing that I was looking for a gnomish figure, he came in, made this sort of declaration. I'm going to cast, being top of the turn order.
Yep.
I'll go with that.
Yep.
Entangle. As he I imagine it would be almost like as he sees him, but especially as once he starts backing out, which is a 20 square foot save or restrained. There's a strength check to escape.
Right,
For
what
the
is the
duration, the
save
area is
on?
difficult terrain.
What is the save stat? Strength?
The save stat is strength.
All
He
right.
needs a strength. A strength save, not a strave. Strength
Well,
save.
He got a 15 on the strength save.
Oh, you.
How far away is he from me?
He's probably about 7 or 8 feet away as he stepped in the door a little bit further down the bar.
I'll probably
Okay.
take a few big steps forward and swing my tail out then to knock him down.
His dexterity save is a 17.
Against my normal thing?
Yeah,
Down.
probably.
This one?
Yeah.
He got a what?
17.
What?
Yep. So
Okay,
he's like jumping and dodging as you guys are doing
ours,
this.
Jared. As he's starting to back out, some grasping weeds and vines will start to come up and try and wrap around his ankles. But he'll just notice them, rip them off, and continue backing out. So he is not restrained at all.
Not restrained. He jumps over the tail, and as he gets through the doorway, a gust of snow blasts through, and you see a sled of sorts kind of slide up behind, and pulling the sled is the giant monster that you'd seen earlier, and your new friend hops onto the sled, and the monster lets out a roar, and snow pushes them away and slides down the hill, and makes a very slick path that goes down the hill towards the direction of home.
How far away would they
We're
have
moving.
made it?
We're moving. I'm running out the door, and I'm calling out, "Follow me! Let's go! Follow me! Trust me! Let's go!"
I think
And I
he's
run out the door.
gone.
As you run out the door, Rumil, you get onto the ice, and I need you to make a dexterity save for me.
I want to know who follows me. I did not save. Probably straight deck save is going to be 8.
8. You slip and fall on your butt, but as you do, you feel the ice kind of pulling you, and you just start sliding the same direction, and slowly sliding out of town and down the hill. The hill actually, as you get to the edge, it had a nice sharp drop, but there's almost this ice slide that is being made, and that slide is sending you down towards where the tower had originally sat. And you are now sliding away from the party down the hill.
Well, I had a plan. This is
Bye,
not, but this will work.
The rest of the party, did anyone follow? It looks like Jared found his way to the Stumble On Inn.
What a strange dude.
What a strange dude as he sends Ruben off.
You're not wrong.
Are we?
I looked everyone else to take lead because I don't I don't
He's
know
on a
these
sled. We're not catching up.
Yeah, I'm with her on that one. And if it's
trust me.
Have fun.
Garth follows.
Garth follows. I need you. Are you gonna just jump down and slide, or are you gonna try and run on this ice?
No, I'm gonna. I assume he did that deliberately.
Oh, yeah.
I've been sliding down.
As Rumil is like twisting around, unable to control.
I like go out to slide down after him. I've got my staff is like meant to like help me steer type thing.
All right. You're able to continue along past, and as you get on the ice, you feel it almost grab hold of you and pull you down, as a magical force seems to have helped the Yeti and Slay escape.
Watching Garth go, I'm gonna slip and slide down that myself.
All right.
So I've got 3 people.
Ugh.
I need a number. How many people are following me?
You've got
I would have
Garth
went
right
out,
behind you.
Okay, here's the
Thadric
thing.
right behind that.
I would have went out to look and see what went on. I don't know, like, if I would have had to make a save or anything. But if I fall, I fall.
Well, if you didn't like run all the way out onto it, if you would have like stepped into the doorway, that's fine. This is like a couple steps down, if you wanted to run down there.
I look at Ari and I'm like, this is how it usually goes. And then I just go down too.
So I heard slip and slide. So Thadric is what, on his stomach sliding down?
Yep, Superman style.
Perfect. And then Valari, how do you hop onto the ice?
I hop in and I land on my hoofs and I go down like I'm on a snowboard. Because I'm cool. What do I have to roll?
You don't have to roll.
Okay.
You're
I was like, he's
volunteering
gonna
to
make
go
me
out
look
on it.
stupid.
Astro jumps up behind you and slides a little bit, and then he ends up blinking right in front of you, and then plopping his butt right on your hoof and letting you push him down. Ari, are you joining?
Humbug.
Humbug.
And I put my shield under my butt and I slide down.
And you're sledding down.
We're up to 6.
As that's all
Well,
happening.
Hellhounds would have been with us,
I
right?
by his collar.
7.
And I bring him along because I don't know. I mean, I guess he
Billiam.
was at an inn, but he's now with us.
Billiam and Barth are standing in the doorway and are unsure.
Oh, okay. He's got the dog.
And they're standing there together, and the old man yells out, is this your... And Barth looks up
Give
the
him
old
some
man.
real cookies.
I'll
Suck, old man.
gladly take better food than ones that try to kill me, and one of them...
And you hear him in the distance just like jabbering the old man's ear off. And then you hear a bark and a small explosion, and you see a little like puff of flame go up into the air, just like a hey, I got this from the Hellhound. So Billiam and Barth are now hanging out in this mountaintop town. The party is following
Okay, so
Rumil.
the Billiam and Barth are back, or are they
Billiam,
joining?
Billiam and Barth are hanging back in the town at the moment.
Okay.
Mostly
So-
because Billiam would melt the whole thing as he gets out there, and Barth is just kind of fluid. He does his thing.
So as I'm going and we're sliding to like on the trail of this sled, I'm going to conjure woodland beings.
Okay?
I'm going to call 8 pixies to my side,
Okay.
Reindeer?
and I'm going to say, I promise we're not in battle, but I need 8 eagles. I need 6 eagles. Take the ones behind me. And so I will have them cast polymorph on myself and the ones behind me and turn us into giant eagles so we can track this freaking sleigh.
And as you get all turned into eagles, you are able to lift off of this ice and see the intricate pattern of twirls and swirls that just turns into a ramp here and there that heads down the mountain back towards kind of where the tower was at, and sending you roughly towards the town of Stone and the forest where you met the librarian. And that's off in the distance, a couple miles out. Some time to fly on these new wings of yours. The doggo is having trouble, and he's flipping around and teleporting in the air as wings are not his main mode of transport. and we're going to leave the end of 2020 and the end of this episode as you are a bunch of eagles, thanks to Rumiel, flying through this island, and we'll start 2021 with you landing wherever it may be and however it may be to deliver this power stone. Now, if you're still here and you want to join in, Penguin Witch Doctor, you got in at the last moment here. Type !ticket, just like the real Gobshite did, just like Penguin Witch Doctor did. We are going to do our 2020 dice giveaway. I will give everyone about 10 or 15 seconds. This stream is a little bit behind, so I'm calling this out now. Enter now before we close
For
the
your
giveaway.
entertainment pleasure.
But I'll chat a little bit here. We will be back in 2021. It will most likely not be the very first Saturday of 2021 because that's the very first Saturday of 2021. So watch our giveaways. Watch our long night. Watch our social. Watch our giveaways because they'll be socially. Watch our social. You'll find out more info there. It's most likely going to be the second or third Saturday in January. We'll be back same time, same format, and we'll finish out the season in a few more episodes before going into season 5. So now that I've talked and given you some details, check out our socials. They're up there. Follow us. You'll be able to have some fun. We interact on Discord, on Instagram, and sometimes on Twitter and Facebook, but Discord and Instagram are the easiest ways to get in touch with us. Nondersec does not have his lights up yet. What does that mean? Your lights up yet?
I do, Penguin Witch Doctor.
You
Notice over Lauren's shoulder.
See if they'll change for us.
That slight change.
Did you see that
There
slight
it is.
change?
All right. The slate.
Still figuring out our
Here,
setup.
here we go. 2021, the new year, the new look. Here we go, drawing a winner. And if it's any one of us, we're going to redraw.
What if I quit the show? Oh, it's not me.
Shadow Reels.
Shadow Reels had a 10% chance to win, and she is our winner. Thank you, Stream Elements, for running this. We'll reach out to you, Shadow, and we'll get you some wonderful metal dice. To the rest of you, like we said, there's giveaways that happen. We'll probably do a giveaway early 2021. Take a look at our sponsors above, because they're the ones that we do giveaways with. So if you like coffee or geeky gifts or anything, we can do that.
While he's pulling up a raid.
We are doing some raiding.
Oh, are you guys... You've went over our things. But we do thank everyone for joining us this year, for all the support you've given us. Whether it's just been showing up and commenting, or if you've tipped, bits, followed, whatever it was, we thank
Told a
you.
friend.
We wouldn't be here without you guys, and we hope that you have safe and wonderful, happy holidays.
Yeah. Thadric, or aka Jared, do we have Dat Network running right now, right?
Yeah, it is the season finale of Things in Space over there. So I was feeling that.
Raid.
Cool. I'm gonna kick off this raid. I think I started it. Yep. I can't see any feedback here. So with that, enjoy, say hi for us, have fun with the Dat Network, and we will see you in the new year. Kicking off the raid.
Merry happy.
Bye.